Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Check, check.
Hello and welcome along and welcome to the second day of the fifth round of the fifth season of the Farming Simulator League, coming to you live from LAMMA 2024. Copter is joining me once again, and we had some really good games yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday was definitely very exciting from all the aspects, I would say. We had a lot of great matches, we had a lot of great individual performances, we saw this one magical levitating bale as well. That just shows how well the physics are actually done on this game, because every individual straw is actually currently rendered, and one of them catches the belt, and it can like draw it back inside of the barn. But anyways, yeah, yesterday was absolute blast, and of course we'll still have some games remaining. I think 4 of them actually, and the first game actually is nothing less than Helm versus Trelleborg Tires, and that's an interesting face-off.
It is. We got that's the thing. We've got Helm, who are right at the top of the standings right now, and Trelleborg, who are actually sitting right at the bottom of it. So this would be a massive upset if Trelleborg were able to come here and beat Helm and force Helm into the lower bracket. They have a bit of a mountain to climb to do it, I think. But they were on better form yesterday. I mean, they haven't lost a match yet today, Trelleborg. So or a match these 2 days yet. So it'll be really interesting to see how this match goes.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Trelleborg Tires has been. I mean, they are currently last on the standings, to be honest. And Helm is currently the leading team. Of course, we know also defending champion of the whole series, and they haven't lost that many games during the past 2 years. So it's a really good team, of course. But Trelleborg Tires, I mean, they have been doing in this tournament definitely, honestly, better than I expected so far. They have kept themselves on the upper bracket. And even if they lose this one, they still have a second try on the lower bracket, so that's very nice to see. I did have a bit of a discussion with JK yesterday after the broadcast. While we had the community meet here, we were sitting on there, and I was asking how he felt. And he said that, yesterday wasn't like the greatest. You know, they did some mistakes there, but they were still winning the games, and they were happy about it. And, of course, they had a plan of improving as well for today. So we'll see what kind of a Helm we're going to be facing. And, of course, I mean, Trelleborg Tires, they have known the opponent already from yesterday, so probably they have been doing some, let's say, studying about the strategies, I would say.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. Well, this is the thing with the FSL always. Actually, it can go any way. We have seen some really amazing turnarounds and some really big surprises. Not just this season, but in past seasons as well. And with the faster pace we have this season, with every game being 10 minutes long, we are seeing teams put under more pressure, little mistakes coming in. We didn't have quite so much yesterday. It was actually a fairly unforced error-free day. There were very few of them. I'm wondering if we get into this. These semi-finals and the final today, whether that pressure will start to build a bit, and whether we'll see more unforced errors creeping in.
Yeah, I think the one of the biggest changes, of course, is the time. We had 15-minute rounds last season, and now we have the 10-minute rounds. There's been a lot of discussion about it, but one of the key things about it is the fact that if you do a mistake, you don't have the time to recover anymore at that point. So that's, of course, the teams are, of course, avoiding any kind of a mistakes. They're kind of like playing it safe. And when you notice that, okay, it's now too late to do anything about that, that just comes so much faster, because you have the drops coming in, you put the stuff on the silo, and then, okay, what can we do here? And then you just have to perform very very well. So of course, this also in a way makes the individual performance and kind of like the mechanics of the players more important.
Yeah. We are going to have a quick recap of yesterday in a moment. We're going to have a quick look over everything that happened. And I was saying there weren't many unforced errors, but there are a few crashes and things like that that caused issues. A few bits where, there's a little bit less control, but there was nothing massive, nothing that really caused a big loss of time. Actually, lots of the issues early on came from first bails being missed, and this actually was a good first bail capture, that one. But he lost a bit of control afterwards, but even the bridge crashes like this, none of those were so bad that they caused a huge amount of time. We only had one time where we had a bailer get stuck so badly on a bridge that it got lost. So yeah, it's it's little bits that happened yesterday rather than anything massively huge. We did see a lot of this when we had Unstoppable being played. Tita was great at doing this, driving up and getting the top. We saw a lot of bales being hurled up the top and things like that. This is just great play here where we got 24 points being scored, taking full advantage of the multiplier, and teams were taking good advantage of their multipliers yesterday, which we don't always see.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see if there's something which we didn't actually see on the broadcast, because of course sometimes we find on the replays that some of the things which we missed there, but not that many mistakes. Of course, I'm waiting to see that toss with the magical bail. There we had a bit of a problem, oversteering definitely slightly.
Well, with that little Lintner, it does have that.
There we go. Is this the one? No, that's not the one. That's a different toss, but we're going to see that. But yeah, these we saw yesterday, some small mistakes, like you said, that nothing that fatal that would have been costing a whole lot of time, because we have seen sometimes people getting the tractor stuck on the trees. They have been, flipping them at the start and then kind of like needing to run to the pads and stuff like that, which has a whole lot bigger impact on it. But all these small things here and there, that's pretty normal. I would say that a lot of these things are ones which on a normal day on FSL wouldn't even make on the replays.
That last one was a good example of something we missed and then knew and then saw the aftermath of. That's the bailer that got stuck under the bridge. He didn't try and go over the bridge. He was trying to jump it. So it wasn't really unforced. It was just an unlucky landing.
Yeah, there's a couple of bails being missed. A jump from the bridge, and
a lovely catch.
Yeah, that's a nice catch actually. And what's going on here? Tito's going to be just skipping the bridge, and this will be still fine. Yeah, just how to handle the traffic more or less.
It's but it was a really jam-packed day yesterday. We had a lot of really interesting games. We had some really close games, not quite as close as we have had before. And I'm thinking with the teams we got left for these games today, I am expecting some really close matches.
Yeah. Maybe this is the magical bail. No, this is a very nice toss.
That's the 36, 36-point bails.
Yeah, that's a lot of points from single bail. And of course, getting 3 of them with a toss, that's really nice. And I mean, we saw that yesterday, but I'm still really waiting for that one bail. I want to see how it hangs still there, because maybe they didn't put that on the replay. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to figure that out at some point. But yesterday was pretty chill. And of course, I'm waiting to see how the games are going to go today. Remember, we have the final. It's different than before. We don't have this 2 final format. We actually have 1 best-of-5 final, where the team coming from the upper bracket will get a 1-match advantage, and or auto win, as they call it sometimes as well. So that's the final. And here we can see, this is actually something we didn't see yesterday. So yeah, some people are actually getting stuck with these combines on the buildings.
The thing that really strikes me about all these replays and seeing all this stuff from yesterday together is how far the teams were really pushing their equipment. How there's lots of wheelies as they turn really fast around corners. They're trying to get through the small spaces really quickly. They're turning and hitting the edges of bits like that. It really is because every second counts in this.
That's true.
And you know that can give you enough time to get another bale pressed and get the extra 20 points that takes you over the top and beats your opponents. So yeah, they're really pushing all of this stuff as far as they can.
And that's getting 2 bales in. I'm just wondering about the silo position. I mean, every time we see these trucks and tractors and the combines going between the buildings, would you in real life put the silo in that kind of a location?
No.
It sounds a bit complicated.
There'd be an awful lot of bent equipment, as we can see by the fact that they're hitting the buildings all the time.
Yeah. We can see Power Team Esports, they were doing all the final moves there. I remember that game when they were actually winning it. And yeah, some action at the safer route. But yeah, very small things. And there we can have...
Here we go. This might be it.
Yeah, this is probably the magical bale. The one got hanging.
Yeah,
they're like
it is.
levitating for a while. And then it's somehow still like, oh, I'm going to catch that last
in
straw.
and
it goes in. That's
our biggest cheer of the day yesterday, I think, when that went in.
Yeah, it was a great toss. And I mean, of course, nice to see that the final bale actually... The satisfaction when you see that it actually goes in, it was pretty huge, to be honest. And... yeah, but a lot of things happening yesterday. At the same time as we are watching these recaps from yesterday, we do have the teams preparing here as well. We do have Helm, and we do have also Trelleborg tires here. So everybody's in place, and everything is looking to be pretty much spot on. So very eager to see how this goes. And this next game that we're going to have, it's the upper bracket match. So, of course, the winning team will go to the final already from here.
So this is our first semi-final of the day. We've got 3 semi-finals and then a final. We've got 1 semi-final from the upper bracket, which is this game, and then of course because the team that loses this goes into the lower bracket, we have a semi-final for between Power Team Esports and New Holland, and then the winner of that match will play the loser of this match, and the winner of that will play the winner of this match in the final.
Yes, exactly. So 4 matches up and coming, and it seems that the game is starting. So Helm versus Trelleborg tires, and best of 3, just like yesterday. So a semi-final, winner will go to the final, just like Alex just explained, but I'm just repeating the obvious facts here, just to let you know what's going on. And of course, we're entering the ban phase. I guess we can expect that the telehandlers, immediately will come from the Trelleborg tires. And I guess the New Holland will be the other one. And then let's see if Helm's going to go for the big ones. Yes, John Deere 8R410.
So not a huge amount of surprise here. I have had a few people in the last 24 hours asking me how the FSL works. So we'll try and go through in this first match and give you an explainer of how everything works here. So at this stage in the game, teams get to choose which equipment gets banned, and neither team gets to use. So the Manitou telehandler, for example, now can't be picked by either team. The second stage of this is where you can reserve a baler, a combine, and pick a team perk. So both teams here have picked bottleneck, and that means that on their side, on their opponent's side, 2 of the bridges are raised and stay raised for the entire game. And this is now the point where the individual team players get to pick which vehicle they have and which individual perk they have. So, for example, Martin and Loliku have both chosen the New Holland telehandler, and they've chosen the runner perk. So the runner perk means that you can run twice as fast as the other players when out of a vehicle and on foot.
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, we saw only one of the telehandlers being banned, and then both teams are actually choosing it. We don't have the unstoppable here on either of the teams, so this will be getting very interesting to see how this is going to play out. Because, I mean, both teams picking the telehandler, it kind of like tells maybe something that they want to utilize it, and usually utilizing the telehandler comes best when actually the belt might be broken, for example. So this, I think, how this starts is exciting. The strategies could be very exciting here. Anyways, we're gonna go for the first bale. We can see Martin heading out to the pass. Gonna be going for the John Deere combine. We can see that there's going to be something claimed already, so that's going to be claimed. We can see that actually a Helm player was going right next to another player as well, but no real challenges happening at the pads, and now we're just going to follow how the first bale is going to start building up. And usually when you don't have much of a hassle at the pads, it means that, probably the first bale is going to be pretty, let's say, it could be a fast one. Of course, depending from where the equipment is going to be spawning. But they still have some time left because it's Trelleborg going not that close actually to the barn, so they will start pressing the bale, and also Helm is going to start pressing the bale on the farer side of the field. So we are not going to be expecting to have 140s here, but let's see if they can make 130s. That's going to be even close. But both teams are actually disengaging behind the combine about at the same time. And now it's all about the delivery, if they're going to swing it or not, and will they do any mistakes there.
Yeah, so both teams now heading in with their first bale. The pod selection at the start, if a team pulls off an item from one of those pods, it then is unavailable to the other team, so you want to get the best equipment. We've got a first bale, we've got a 125 coming in there for Helm, and it looks like Heiden's taking a little bit longer to get the one in for the Trelleborg for 118. So we have a 7-point difference in the first bale, well within a single bale in the bottom of the barn where you can score 10 points, and so yeah, not a huge gap for them to clear up. First drop has happened. We've got Crazy Tool, which just creates a crazy amount of bales, and Herbicide, which removes all the weeds from the fields for a short period of time. Neither of those really at this stage are perks or are drops that either team is going to go out of the way to get, because they can avoid the weeds fairly easily, and they're not doing any baling at the moment. So the Crazy Tool has no real use at this stage in the game.
Yeah, it was actually, the first bale still, 125 and 118, but Heiden, who did the delivery for the Trelleborg tires, he had a small mistake at the bridge, nothing major, but he lost the control for a while, needed to kind of relax and, calm down the vehicle, and then he just decided, I guess, to reverse that in at the same time as well. So, and considering all that, the 7-point difference is actually a pretty small one when you have like two different kind of entries on that one. But now it's going to be coming back to the grinding phase. It's pretty even, the situation, the timings and everything. They should have about the same time to collect the grain and everything. So this is looking pretty even, even though there's 7 points of a difference, but that's not much.
Yeah, it's in the grand scheme of things, it really isn't very much. And both teams now heading in to deliver their grain. Delivering their grain, of course, alters the multiplier that you can see at the top of the screen in the little yellow boxes. So the more grain they deliver, the more the multiplier goes in your favour, up to a maximum of 3 times and a minimum of 1 times. At which point your belt breaks, because there's no point in putting a bale on the belt for a 1 times multiplier. And so both teams, I don't know if either team is actually going to deliver any grain right now. They tend to hold off at this stage, yeah, and both teams, in fact, are holding off and not delivering any grain at this point.
Yeah, it's just like 45 seconds for the first drops. I think it's a little bit late. They want to see the drops first, what's going to be coming from there. And of course, we have seen these early deliveries happening as well. A lot of grain actually being collected, as we can see Helm having 60k already. And, when you don't have the unstoppable on either of the sides and you have the telehandler, so that usually tells us that, yeah, there might be a lot of grain that's going to be delivered, because they are not so scared. We have seen Helm using the telehandler just fine, so they don't care if the belt is going to be stopped. And also Trelleborg tires actually have been using the telehandler in the past as well. So this is interesting to see how it will play. Just 10 seconds, and then we'll see if there's going to be any kind of a multipliers for the grain, which of course is the one that teams are maybe hoping to see, as they have been now waiting to see and waiting not to deliver the grain.
Yeah, we very much could this game see the Trelleborg toss versus the Helm Hurl
Silo
for
closed.
scoring points. We got speed limit and silo closed. Silo closed is actually a huge power up to get at this point. And yeah, both teams running to grab it, closing each other's silos. There is a 2-second difference between the two. So both teams now really want to be getting their bales at their barn, ready to score points. They can score 10 points in the bottom, and they can score 10 points multiplied by the current multiplier in the top. So with both teams having a 2 times multiplier at the moment, they will score 20 points if they put it into the top of the barn. And we'll see how that multiplier shakes out. Only 48,000 litres of grain for Trelleborg. Seems a little bit low at this point, and they are not producing anymore. However, Helm only have 1,000 litres more grain. I think this is going to end up being a very equal multiplier by the end of this, that we're going to see a 2 times multiplier going into the latter stages of this game.
Yeah, that's how it looks like. And in general, I mean, everything looks pretty even for the moment. I mean, both teams have been pressing the bales, they have been collecting the grain about the same amounts, whatever happens with the multiplier. And nobody has been delivering any grain. That's interesting. I mean, we have 4 minutes and nobody has done anything. Of course, we have the silo closed. Yeah.
And we got a Helm Hurl, and it's managed to get 2 of the 3 bales in. And scored them scored them 40 points.
Yeah, I mean, getting some points, and this is usually the time when Helm has been delivering something. I mean, they like to get that early advantage, the small gap, and kind of like put the mental side of the other team that they are chasing them. And we can see how good job actually Martin is doing collecting the bales to the front of the telehandler. I mean, 3 bales, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to do the same. Let's see Loiko. Yeah, he's going to try to do the same, and he's going to be succeeding
60
nicely.
Points, very nicely done by Trelleborg there.
Yeah, let's see how Martin handles this. I mean, he wants to do something similar, and of course, I mean, Helm is kind of like the inventor of the Trelleborg toss, which they are currently doing. So we have the Helm hurdle and the Trelleborg toss, and let's see how Martin wants to do it. He doesn't have the straightest possible way, so yeah, he wants to do it safely because he can't like have the acceleration straight from the of the belt.
And bale points picked up by Trelleborg. That is really great for them. That's given them a good extra boost. Especially when Helm are so good at pressing extra bales in these last 3 minutes.
So I'm just wondering, have the teams decided that they will not deliver any grain at all because the silo close is gone for a long time ago, and we only have 2.5 minutes to go?
I know, in fact, both teams have delivered their grain. It has just made absolutely zero difference.
Yeah, it's completely the same. Everything is just like it was, some minutes ago. So yeah, there's a bit of a problem for Helm.
Ending up stuck on a bale. That is bad.
Yeah, let's see how that's going to work, because they're also blocking the safer route. So JK having a bit of trouble, needs to disengage it, needs to kind of like find a different kind of an angle how to save the situation.
He's going to have to push that off.
Yeah, let's see how he wants to play it. No,
that is stuck under there. He needs to go and get rid of those 2 bales, come back and get the one from underneath.
That's going to cause some very important
The longer he spends going round there and trying to free that, the harder it is for Trelleborg.
Yeah, that is...
for Helm.
And we spoke about the unforced errors.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah,
and he wants to take it at the same time as well. He's trying to do it with 3 bales. While he's got 3 bales, I think he needs to go and put those 2 bales on there. And we got 2. One is not going to go in, but almost went to the lower doors already. But yeah, I mean, Trelleborg tires actually, they are currently on the lead, and Helm, JK. I mean, this is Wooler having a problem as well. So this is costing a lot of time for Helm.
This is we were talking about no massive unforced errors yesterday. We have a massive unforced error here where Helm are just stuck. Yeah. They cannot get this bale out from underneath. Martin's coming in now with the telehandler to try and get it out.
That's not good at all.
This is really hurting their end game.
Now it's away.
Have.
And now somehow
they are still within 40 points, though.
Martin tries to crash that from the moving vehicle, actually. But now it's finally disengaged. But that caused a lot of time. And all the 3 players in one single place trying to fix that one bale. And, the time lost multiplies here.
And that's the thing. This is the time when they're normally massively pressing Bales. They're 40 points behind. Trelleborg have been able to go out there and press extra Bales. And yeah, Trelleborg are going to
20
have a
seconds to
Bale
go.
advantage going into the end of this match.
Yeah, this 15 seconds to go. Trelleborg is leading currently, and let's see if they can still do something about it. There's going to be some couple more Bales going in, but there's going to be 60 points on the belt. There's going to be 20 points for Trelleborg on the belt, so it's going to be very complicated to catch up at all. If I mean, it's going to be so not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's going to be Trelleborg Tires who will win the first game of the series and of the day as well.
That's an early upset this morning.
Yeah, it is.
That is surprising start to today's events.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess JK is like somebody didn't bail these bales correctly. There was something wrong with that one.
But that is the thing with the safer route. That huge bump that goes over the top of it. So easy to lose a bale, and if you get on top of a bale like that, it is so hard to get off it.
Yeah, true. I mean, and having all the three players. I mean, of course, JK was struggling with it. Then we saw, was it Martin who was coming from the breach? No, it wasn't Martin. But anyways, we had a second player coming from the safer route, and the route was blocked because of that one baler being stuck there on the bridge. And then, of course, in the end, Martin needed to come with a telehandler as well to finally resolve the situation, to have some kind of a try to fix it, and that just costed a lot of time for them.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't know if getting those, as I said at the time, getting those two bales gone and then coming back and trying to free it would have been a better way to do it. But yeah, it ended up with all of them in one place, trying to clear the route and just losing that time that they are so good at using normally to press extra bales and win matches and left them in quite a big deficit.
Well, we can see some smiles here. Actually, look at the faces of Trelleborg players. they're actually like smiling just a little bit. And if the camera would show us the helm, I would imagine that we don't see so happy faces currently there, because of course they're going to be worried. They didn't win the last tournament, and could this? I mean, of course we are going too far away with the speculations, but just saying that they don't have the greatest streak currently going on.
Fielden's comment in the chat, I still blame Terminator Live for naming the safer route. Clearly it's the unmoving path of death and destruction. He has claimed many a player.
Well, I would love to see that we would have a tournament and we would make a small physics update on that bridge without telling the players. And then we would see a total amount of the death and destruction there. But of course, wouldn't be so nice for the players, but would be fun for the viewers, at least for a while. Anyways, we have the second game starting, so Trelleborg Tires leading the best of 3 series with the 1 victory. And let's see, we do have the telehandlers once again in play. Of course, we'll see what's going to be the perk here this time. That's going to be chosen by the teams. We have to wait for that for a while. But let's see how this is going to play out, because, I mean, I think Helm is actually slightly under the pressure.
Absolutely, yeah. Not the way I think they wanted to start their morning. And they are... on the back foot a bit. Both teams going for Big Hall. No. Trelleborg have gone for Unstoppable versus Big Hall. That is a masterful play of disruption right at the last moment, choosing that perk that we know is so strong against Big Hall. Both teams have the telehandler, so it's mitigated in that Helm will be able to do the Helm hurl and score points that way. But it does mean that Helm's grain game needs to be very disciplined in order to not end up with a big problem.
Yeah, true. Let's see how this plays out. But I mean, both teams having telehandlers once again. This is actually a nice change. I mean, usually teams avoid having the telehandlers available, but now both teams, they clearly want to play with them. So both teams have been playing with them, at least on the first 2 matches of the series. But it's a nice change, and with the telehandlers we tend to see these, let's say, special moves and the tosses happening, and it is pretty helpful. We can see Loiko having a bit of a problem exiting the gate, so once again the teams are heading for the pads, and then of course they will start making the first bale. And when I look at the location of the vehicles here on the pads, it seems that we actually do have a chance of having a slightly faster first bale, maybe. So let's wait and see how this is going to play out. We can see the balers and the combines have been taken, and now the actual work starts at the field. And Loiko, yeah, he's going to go definitely closer to the barn, as we can see, so we can expect that there will be definitely a better first bale. And with that ideal, actually, I did have a discussion at the fence stand today
Yes.
with the staff, and we were wondering about those things on the roof, what they are. So they are tank lids. That's the official term, tank lid. That is the official term. And the tank lids are open, and Loiko, because Highland actually are disengaging behind it, and I think that Helm is pretty much on the same schedule with it, so we'll see the first toss is happening in a matter of seconds. We can still expect to have high 130s, I would say, 138, 137, 138 maybe, yeah, 138, and it's going to be Trelleborg Tires who's going to be claiming the first bale, and now JK is going to follow, going to take it safe. I guess they want to be, very safe with this one, that they don't want to have any kind of a mistakes, because they have their backs against the wall, and it's going to be 8 points less.
Yes, I think it's going to be a much more conservative game here from Helm. They cannot lose this game without heading into the lower brackets. They'll want to get the pressure back onto Trelleborg, and the only way they can do that is by winning this. So I think we'll see less chances and more of a steady game from them here. Just trying to make sure that they play their normal strategy and score as many points as they can. That does, of course, leave the window open for Trelleborg to disrupt them. I think if Trelleborg can play a disruptive game here, that is going to put Helm on the back foot, because Helm need a game where they can just play their strategy and win playing that strategy. And Trelleborg came straight out of the gate playing that kind of game. We've got the unstoppable coming up against the big hall, changing it to unstoppable at the last moment to do that. And I think Trelleborg have kind of got a little bit of an all or nothing here. If they don't win this game, I absolutely expect Helm to play unstoppable next game, and then the disruption goes the other way.
That is true. Let's wait and see. I mean, usually when you have a big haul against you, so usually, well, in this case, Trelleborg, they kind of try to defend versus it by collecting like a lot of grain on the other vehicles. So even more than the Optimus Prime can carry, or the Mack, the Mack truck. But we're still in the process of collecting it. We still have more than a minute for the first drops as well, because the Hayden starting to make the move. They need to build the setup around the silo, so that's going to take a bit of time, but they are well in time to do it. So Hayden will be coming here without any major issues, still having the nose out between the buildings. We spoke about this yesterday, how some players actually want to keep it open, how some want to keep it closed while they're doing it, and it seems that Hayden wants to keep it open. So that is the situation. But yeah, about 50 seconds for the drops, and then we'll see if there's going to be, let's say, any upsets on the, for example, in the grain game.
And JK jumping into the JCB here, really fast, really manoeuvrable tractor. Actually, I said this yesterday, I am amazed more teams don't use that JCB. It's fast, it can pull the bale as well, and it's got a front loader on it. And it's just such a useful piece of kit in the FSL. And Helm are the only team that seem to be using it at the moment.
Yeah, I guess it's a matter of preference. We had a nice discussion about the preferences on the panel yesterday as well, on the stage after the event. So a lot of people, they have their own preferences. But yeah, of course, I mean, there's a lot of great equipment that might not be used because of the historical reasons or personal preferences and so on. But I guess having a variety on these is a nice thing to have. We have the bale multiplier and the direct delivery, and now we do have both teams actually having some bales, 4 and 3 to be exact. So the bale multiplier could be a thing here that they will pick right on the last second, because they want to prepare as many bales as they can if they will go for it.
Yeah, neither team particularly. I'm not sure either of those is particularly useful for either team. As you say, bale multiplier is probably the most useful, but they don't want to pick it till the last moment, till they absolutely have to. That way they can maximize the number of bales that they deliver. Wooler is bringing in a load of grain, but already Trelleborg is delivering their grain. Now the grain will deliver really quickly from the the big hall. So expect to see that multiplier go the other way quite quickly. And yeah, Bale multiplier grabbed by Helm. We were fully expecting that. And is that where it's at? No, there's still 36,000 litres of grain.
They want to make sure that the belt is fast enough and then just pour the remains right on the last second.
Yeah.
So they want to get some bales on the belt, have the belt moving with a reasonable speed, and then just unload the rest as, you know, when the bales are like 1 meter away from the barn doors.
Interestingly, it looks like Trelleborg have not picked up the bale multiplier.
Ooh, they broke the belt.
They did. So we're going to see, Martin is going to do a Helm hurl.
Oh, JK is going to follow as well. They have a huge amount of bales coming in.
But yeah, this is going to get, it's perfectly lined up. He's throwing them in. Are they all going in?
Yeah.
They are. Look at that.
And JK is going to come with 5, 6.
Fantastic score.
Yeah, a lot of bales, and they're going to try to put them on the belt. They still have a reasonable amount of time remaining, so they will try to get maybe, I mean, they have 9 bales more or less on that area. 3 of them already inside. If they can do the same with the remaining 6 bales, 25 seconds on the clock, so that might be a bit difficult. The belt is operational, 2.0 multiplier for both as well, so it has been evened out. The grain game is over. 3 minutes to go.
We still have the bale multiplier though.
Yeah, they do have it for some seconds, but I don't think that they get all the 6 bales, but let's see if there's going to be more coming in. Loiko at the same time, they even haven't picked the multiplier. Actually, they don't have it.
Yeah, no, so, they have scored. They have scored more points.
Yeah, they have done it meanwhile
with that multiplier. So yeah, a healthy lead now for Helm.
Yeah, I think 2 more. I think they got 5 bales in with that multiplier, and the 6th bale went in after it expired, and then the remaining bales on the baler, they didn't get them on the belt.
Trelleborg grabbing the Lord Baler, immediately scoring 3 bales. So that's evened things up a bit, but there is a big bale deficit going into these last 2.5 minutes for Trelleborg. Once again, Helm showing how good they are at getting bales pressed, getting a nice advantage on the number of bales they have. So yeah, Trelleborg are going to have to fight hard now to even up the number of bales they've got and to even up the score, because yeah, they're quite a way behind.
Yeah, let's wait and see how this goes. JK gonna bring some more bales around the belt. 2 minutes to go, and yeah, the lead is like a 70 points, 75 points actually. So it's a decent lead, and also yeah, Trelleborg is currently having less bales available as well. So yeah, everything is looking good for Helm for the moment. Let's see how this goes. I mean, but as we saw in the last game, like one small mistake is gonna cost something. That's 4 bales, yeah. Did you know that this was actually possible?
That's the first time we've seen 4 bales.
Can you toss them? Can you toss them? That's my first question.
Is he going to try?
But I mean, the 2 middle bales, they are like sideways.
Here we go, over the safer route.
Yeah, sideways.
And he's got them over.
2 on the side. So this
is he going to go for the hurl? I don't think he is. No.
No, it's going to be too risky, I would say.
I don't think the edge ones would make it in, but he is going to immediately start loading them.
First. No, he wants to start on the side. Complicated. But
not on straight, repositioning it. He needs to get that other one, though, because that won't make it up.
There we go.
But that's going on there.
That's a nice placement.
Yeah, and this is why Trelleborg can get so many bales back. Yeah. Oh, no, not Trelleborg. Helm can get so many bales back.
Yeah, that's a lot of bales. I got to say, that's the first time we see 4 bales. And the key was the 2 middle bales, they were like, you know, rotated vertical, 90 degrees. Yeah, just like a flipped on the other side. And JK is showing that, okay, don't film me. I want to play in peace.
Look at all those bales Helm have. And Helm's trouble at the moment, of course, because they're playing against Unstoppable, they have a much slower belt. So if Trelleborg can press the bales, they can score points quicker. Yeah,
and Trelleborg is actually not that far away. I mean, yes, we have 80 points, but still taking everything into consideration, I think that's a pretty small gap, taking everything into account. But now, as we can see so many bales there, that one bale, the first bale, which was sideways, that is actually the key, because it might actually just drop the other bales away from the belt. But no, they're going to go in. That one bale is going to drop for sure.
This is going
Martin's going to fix that on the bottom, and that's going to be almost 700 points for them. And Helm once again showing a great recovery and showing what they are made of.
And when they don't get stuck, they are bale pressing machines. You know, they have I mean, look at that. The 4 extra bales.
Mm.
All of them in. No, not quite all of them in the top actually. One of them in the bottom. Just.
Yeah. Great job.
That's what, and taking advantage of that multiplier. That multiplier really helped.
Yeah, I was really curious why Trelleborg didn't go for the multiplier at all. I mean, they didn't pick that up. They didn't utilize it. They did have some bales somewhere around. We didn't say exactly where, but they just didn't like go for it at all. And that's like a missed opportunity, if you ask for me.
Same here. That's You want to get that to leave your opponents with a bale multiplier that they can go and score 50 extra points than you. It just leaves you open to a big issue.
True. Well, I mean, now we have 1-1 situation, so the first game of the day is going to be forced all the way to the third match of the series, and of course, the winner of the next game will be claiming the series and will be claiming the place in the grand final as well, and then the losing team is going to drop on the lower bracket and will be facing the opponent from the next match we're going to see after this one. So nothing has been yet lost, and so far, I mean, excellent farming simulator competition going on here. I mean, I really love to see that Trelleborg was. I mean, they did lose the second game, but they were not that far away. They still got a very good amount of points, actually. So it was still a great performance. But of course, with Helm, you have to have like an unbelievable performance, more or less, or an error from the Helm side. But still, I'm really impressed.
And we're going into the third game now. I am standing my prediction again with my prediction that we're going to see Unstoppable from Helm here. It is the most disruptive team pick they could pick, and it's just going to send them in with a really big advantage.
Yeah, and the bans are coming in. John Deere going to be chosen by Helm. Then we have Trelleborg not actually taking the telehandlers. So this this seems to me that we actually might have a third game in the series where the teams are actually playing with the telehandlers, as they're not banned, and both teams, they like to prefer it. So
both these teams are good at using the telehandlers to their full advantage. There we go, Helm picking Unstoppable. Really going to be interesting to see.
Herbicide? No,
but
it's going to be a big
thing. Considering what's left, you know, that neither team has bottleneck left. Do you pick Herbicide? Do you pick Big Haul? What do you pick to go against Unstoppable from what they had left?
Well, we have the telehandlers once again in play, for sure, as we can see. So this is, I do like this. I mean, it's a nice change that we do have more use of the telehandlers, that they're not being banned all the time. There was actually yesterday a suggestion on the chat. We spoke about the bans, and somebody suggested that we just remove the whole ban phase. Let the people play what they actually want to play. I mean, that could be a thing as well, but it's, of course, completely different discussion. But here I want to see how the telehandlers are once again being used.
I think there's actually a good argument for that, because the ban phase, unless you're banning the telehandlers, the ban phase does not have that big an impact. Because you can ban 2 big tractors, or if both teams ban 4 big tractors, then that might take all the big tractors out. But even then, I think there's a big tractor available to both teams. So while it forces you to use a particular one, and some are better than others, it doesn't have a massive impact on the game other than banning the telehandlers. And JK being beaten to a baler there.
Yeah, we can talk about the bans a little bit later. But anyways, meanwhile, of course, the first bale is going to be starting to build up. Once again, we can see that it's going to come around the barn. So that's going to be always indicating that it could be a fast first bale delivery. We have seen more than 150 points happening already, not in this event, but during this season. And but that hasn't been available here. But Hayden now, I mean, this is actually not that far away from being on that ballpark. So it's going to be, I mean, if he's going to toss this in, it's going to be high 140s for sure. It's going to be very close to 150. I would say 148 maybe. Oh, it's not going to go in. Unfortunately, he missed that one. But it was a great try. And it can be still 140. It can still be 140 if he gets that in. But no, it's going to be complicated. High 130s, 138, yes. So that's definitely a great recovery, because we haven't seen the first bell coming from Helm Helm at all.
Well,
And now we can see JK coming in a bit late from this bridge of destruction and death, more or less, as that is the new name for it. And he's actually going to be trying to toss that in, and it's going to be 121, so the gap is 17 points, which is 0.85 bales.
or one bale up the top, but not one bale down the bottom.
And Crazy Tool and Silo Close, JK probably will just pick up the Crazy Tool. Nope. Mott is going to go for Silo Close.
From the side.
Yeah, he was like surprising us all. It's almost like a comedy show when something unexpected happens and the guy jumps from the side of the stage.
And actually, for Helm, that's quite useful. Blocking the silo at this point means that Hayden can't come in and dump some of the grain from this, and then come back and refill again. I think Hayden is looking like he's heading towards it, but he's not going to go and get silo closed. There's only 18 seconds left. Task looks like he might be heading up there.
That's actually a good one. I mean, you said that it makes sense to pick up the silo close at this point, and every time before when silo close has been spawning, I guess we just haven't had the big haul in the play when it comes on the first batch of the drops. So now it actually makes sense, because we have been thinking about that. Yeah, nobody's going to use it at that point anymore. But yeah, you're completely right. It's a good pick at this point if you want to do some quick deliveries at the start, because Trelleborg already has 45k of grain. They could do something. So this is really useful.
And there's not really much point in Trelleborg picking it up, because they know that Helm isn't going to be empty at this point. There is no reason for Helm to empty at this point. So as a result, going out of your way, getting that is going to make no difference.
True. Anyways, less than 7 minutes. We can see JK now parking next to the silo. Let's see what happens. This is going to be any kind of initial deliveries. He might do something, yeah.
No.
We'll see. I mean, you never know. I mean, they might be just baiting us a little bit. And but yeah, for the moment, of course, the multipliers are the same. So nothing has been delivered so far. And of course, the grain is collected. And once again, we are expecting that, of course, that if you want to fight the big haul, then you want to have a lot of grain. And then building the setup and, getting it in place. You don't want to show your cards too early.
Yeah. So both teams concentrating hard as we hit the just coming up to the 6 minute mark. This is the point in the game when we see a lot of setup. It's actually good to see that class tractor in use here this weekend. We haven't seen a lot of it this season, and yeah, seems to be being favoured by Trelleborg here. This weekend. I keep calling this weekend. It's not a weekend. It's Thursday.
Yeah, yeah. But it almost feels like a weekend, to be honest. Yeah, it's because of FSL is always running Saturday, Sunday, and now we are running Wednesday and Thursday.
Yes.
So yeah, it definitely feels like a weekend. And of course, we are like, away from our day jobs and everything as well. So it's like, definitely feels like a weekend. Meanwhile, the drops are coming in. We can see speed up and direct delivery. So there's nothing that disruptive. I mean, of course, yeah, you can probably teams will go for the speed up. I guess that's the if they will pick up something, but it's not like a mandatory here at all.
And we have seen speed up as a preferred way of doing things, because it does allow you to move faster around the map. It does allow you to press extra bales. It is actually a pretty good all-round power up, and I think JK is heading here to pick up speed up, as has Trelleborg. So yeah, both teams sped up, and I think Hayden is probably going to start pressing bales from that point. Yeah,
there's going to be a delivery happening, as we can see from the both sides. So Trelleborg is unloading very fast. Helm is unloading at the same time. 2.0 for the moment. Let's see where the numbers are going to end up. Still 18,000 of grain remaining for Trelleborg, but 36 actually for Helm. Of course, they cannot unload it so fast. And but yeah, they do have it. So this could end up pretty even actually with the multipliers.
Have a full class combine there though. So they have that 18,000 litres of grain. That is a full class combine. That is really well played on Trelleborg's part.
Yeah, Siloiko's going to be trying to do the toss. 3 bales, all are going to go in with 24
points.
But that's a lot of points. That's going to be 72 points for one single toss. And every time we have these tosses happening with 3 bales, which the guys on the other side of the stream doesn't know, that there's huge applauses every time it happens, which is really nice. Keep doing it.
We like to see that. And Martin coming in now, and the multipliers going back in Helm's favour. Trelleborg, I think, have delivered all of their grain at this point. And is this going to be a 2.0 to 2.0?
Yes.
Just, yes.
Yeah, but the speed of the belt is a huge difference there, actually. So Helm, I mean, yeah, they're like 90 points behind currently, but they do have the bales and they do have the efficiency, and especially when the belt is so fast, they shouldn't have any trouble actually delivering a lot of bales on the second floor. Here we can see how fast it is. No, pretty decent, I would say. And when we'll see a glimpse of the Trelleborg's belt, then we can see that it's slightly slower, of course, as we can see that it's missing a couple of the dots from the speed of it.
Yeah, that increased multiplier point score on Trelleborg part will really help them. Neither team will go for the multiplier switch here. There's no point in going all of that way to make no difference. And it's now just down to how many bales can Trelleborg press, because we know that Helm are good at.
They have 15.
We know that they can do it.
Yeah, Loiko wants to do another toss. Oh, just one is going to go inside. Yeah, I mean, the point difference is just like 10 points or 9 points currently. So that's a very little amount of points, but it's the cap currently.
The bales are fairly even as well.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's a do or die for both of the teams. And I think that the faster belt on the Helm side is definitely an advantage, and we know how efficient Helm is also when it comes to pressing bales in a later game. So Trelleborg is actually having a couple bales more as we speak, but of course now Helm has been also making some deliveries, so they're actually leading by 90 points when they were just a couple seconds ago 10 points behind. So the situation has changed, and that also explains the difference. Yeah, it explains the bale count.
But I mean, their bale count has hardly changed.
Yeah.
They still have, they've been sitting at 10 to 11 bales
the
whole time they're delivering. So they're pressing bales as fast as they're scoring them.
Yeah.
And Trelleborg are not keeping up with that speed.
And here we can see what is the difference on the speed of the belt very well, as we can see the X-ray. Also, at the same time, Trelleborg was dropping a couple of the bales, unfortunately, as we spoke. So all these small mistakes, when we have just 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining, those going to make a lot of difference here. Now we can see Trelleborg, they're trying to get as many bales, of course, on the second floor as they can. But I mean, they have a lot of bales, and the difference is now 30 points. So it's going to be getting very close. And I think that still, I say it once again, the belt speed will be an issue.
The incredible thing about Helm at this point, in pretty much every single game, is there's no obvious way that they press so many more bales than their opponents. And that's the incredible thing about it, is that it is just tight gameplay that gets them wins. And that makes it really, really difficult for other teams to look at them and go, all right, this is the tactic we need. This is where we need to apply this.
Yeah.
Because all it is
25.
Right, we've got to speed this up, and we've got to do it.
And this is where the difference is building up.
Points.
That's where it's building up as we speak. I mean, you can see that Helm is still putting the bales on the belt, but Trelleborg, they will try to do something 10 seconds to go. The last try is going to come from here. 3 bales, but they're very widely split on the fork, and it's not going to be all the 3 bales going in. 3 of them actually went inside, and this is getting, in the end, very close. But at least Helm is still celebrating, if nothing else. So we'll just wait for the final scores. But it was going very close, and that final toss, all the 3 bales going inside, that was a great toss. For a while I thought that it's not going to go for sure all of them in, but all 3 actually went.
All 3 in, and it did go Helm's way. It was 611 points, I think I saw at the top.
Yeah.
We did get the blue fuzz behind the victory, so yeah.
I don't know if you can hear it, but JK is actually roaring on the stage.
Properly celebrating. I think that wobble in the first game shook them a little bit, and yeah, they needed that.
Yeah, somehow it reminds me from the song from Katy Perry. But that's a different story.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, Helm won it, so I guess we'll see the final scores at some point. But yeah, 600 something, 11 you said, I think 580 or something came on the side of the Trelleborg tires, and JK is just absolute monster on the stage currently. I think he finally found the alpha male side of him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Just back to the jungle, man.
And I don't want to take anything away from Trelleborg there, though.
They played really
fought
well.
hard.
And they still have a second try. I mean, they didn't like drop from the tournament. This was an upper bracket game, so it means that Trelleborg Tires will be dropping on the lower bracket. And with this kind of a gameplay, I'm just really happy to see how they play and how they perform. They won one. They took two of them actually pretty close. So yeah, definitely great job from Trelleborg Tires as well. And of course, the next game that we're going to have will be Power Team Esports versus the New Holland, and that's going to be one of the matches from the lower bracket. So the loser's going to be going out of the tournament, and the winner's going to be still staying and playing against Trelleborg. We're going to be going for a short break. Any final words, Alex?
No, other than see you in 3 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
And welcome back. We had the first game, and now it's going to be time for the second match of the day. Of course, the previous one still, it was a tight one, Helm versus Trelleborg Tires, and in the end, Helm did manage to claim the series for themselves, and they have claimed the space on the grand final as well. So now we have the rest of the teams. We still have Power Team Esports. Of course, we have New Holland and Trelleborg Tires. So one of these teams will be finding the second spot on the grand final, but we still have a couple matches to solve that out. We're going to be having a look on the replays as well, so that's going to be happening in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, it was a really tough set of games. Second game, I think, or second match we've had this week. These 2 days at LAMMA, where it's gone to three games, and Trelleborg playing really strongly in all 3 of these. We've got Martin coming in with the first Helm Hurl in the first game, and then Loiku coming through and showing how it's done by getting all 3 scores.
I would love to see somebody doing this with the real telehandler.
With the real telehandler. And this is where it went all so wrong for Helm in that first game. That bale getting stuck under the baler, it blocked the safer route and just caused them so many problems. And they couldn't enact their normal final game push to create bales. But both teams really like using the telehandler. This is the most use of the telehandler we've seen.
Yeah.
I think all season.
Yeah, all 3 matches.
It keeps getting banned. But both teams like using it. They use it really effectively, and they don't mind their opponent having it. So yeah, it's great to see the telehandler used so much and so well.
Yeah, true. I mean, and of course we saw the 4 bales as well being on it. So something new once again came up, which we haven't seen on the past. This was a nice toss in the end.
And that was it. So it was 580.
Yeah.
So it was a 31-point difference, even with those 3 bales in there.
Yeah, but the gap was like 150 points before the final seconds or something like that. Of course, it was just not those 3 bales, but I'm pretty sure the Trelleborg, they thought that, okay, we get these in, we'll fix the situation, but it didn't happen. But it was very close, and I really love to see that, that they can make Helm, being under the pressure that much.
And once again here today, we've got lots of my fellow creators. You saw my good friend Mr. DJ Gohan, Mr. Seeley P's about here. We've got Robert Scythe here. There's quite a few. There's quite a few creators kicking about. So if you're here at LAMMA and you want to come and meet some of us, please pop over. We're very personable and obviously I can't at the moment because I'm up here. But come say hi.
Yeah, you'll find Alex after the broadcast from the stage or around the stage. So all the fans are welcome. Anyways, as we can see, New Holland and Power Team Esports, that's the next lineup. And of course, the losing team is now going to be dropping off because this is the lower bracket match. And the winner will be facing Trelleborg Tires in the semi-final of the lower bracket. And of course, from that, the winning team is going to be going to the final and dropping away. But first, we have to deal with this one. So Power Team Esports versus New Holland. Yesterday, I mean, I think in New Holland they also did a lot of things with the telehandlers, by the way. And Power Team Esports, they survived actually on the upper bracket for a couple of matches, and they dropped on the lower one, but they did win their game there. And now let's see if they can win the second game on the lower bracket. And of course, if they won't, then they will be out of the tournament. And once again, we can see now that the Power Team Esports at least is banning the telehandlers, at least one of them. And that's going to be the second one as well, because, I mean, we saw yesterday New Holland playing with those pretty well. So we go back to the norm.
Yeah, and this is the thing. It's the banning of the 2 big tractors like this from New Holland doesn't have that much of an impact. There's still the big Deutz, there's still the big Vultra, there's still the big Class. So there's still a lot of options there for both teams in the large tractor category. Whereas banning both of the telehandlers means that nobody can use a telehandler, and it's really that is the only effective ban in the FSL.
Okay, then we go back to the perks. Okay, so big haul versus big haul. That's going to be chosen by the teams, and then we go back to the individual perks and the utilities. But yeah, big haul versus big haul. We saw this happening once yesterday in the first game. I think Helm versus Lindner, if I completely remember it right. We'll see how it's going to go.
I think both teams have been listening to me. After my comment about the JCB in the last game, both teams have selected the JCB this game.
Yeah, let's try it. Let's try it out. I think they are trying to validate your words, Alex. So, I mean, if this goes badly, I mean, both of them actually have it. But if it doesn't work, if we saw mistakes with the JCB, then they're going to blame you, Alex, from it. But of course, that is not the case. They will not make those. Well, who knows? Actually, they can make this kind of a decision. I mean, they did make herbicide versus herbicide as well yesterday. So after we discussed about it, so Who knows? Meanwhile, we can see actually a paddle, battle of the paddles. Actually, Tita who's going to win the running
actually managed
contest.
to get it.
Yeah. I think he actually arrived later.
Yeah,
On the pad, and then he just ran
somehow
away.
managed to get it first.
Better mechanics or something like that. We can see Obelix leaving from there without any kind of a bailer. So we do have New Holland kind of like having a better start when it comes to the pads, and we can see that they're already starting to build up the first bail, and it's going to be pretty close to the barn as well. Obelix just now getting a bailer. So I mean, based on what I see, I can expect maybe a 20 points of a difference, about one bail already at this point. But yeah, let's not go too far away with the speculations. First, we want to see the scores. Falcho's going to be getting away behind Tita. And looking at the points, high 130s is definitely possible. No, it's actually 140. 147 maybe, 146 maybe. That's got to be the case.
146. Yes. Absolutely fantastic first bail there from New Holland.
Yeah, it's going to be a great start for them. And then we'll see Obelix is arriving now. We'll take the, I'm going to call it back safer route, at least for now, because nobody died, at least not yet. And he's going to be tossing it in, and it's going to be
hard. And yeah, that's nearly 20 points. That's 18-point difference.
Yep. 0.9 bails. That is the difference. Okay, so back to the work. And remember, both of the teams, they do have big holes, so we have same strategies. We do have some French drops coming in, bail drop, and bridges lowered in English.
Yes, because of course the teams themselves see the drops in their native languages.
Can I call them with my native language as well? Silta kiinni.
Okay. I do not understand.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, so 2 minutes are done, and the gap is about 20 points. Let's see how this is going to play out. Nobody has been at least on the no bails have been pressed so far, except for the one for the first bail. So, and now it's just all about filling the big hole, and then at the time when they're going to ditch it on the side of the field, then they will try to do something else for a while. Then they will try to refill it a little bit, and that's how it's usually building up with the big hole.
And we've got, both teams filling up their grain at the moment. I think it's 32,000. I just saw that Power Team Esports are at. It looks like 34,000 at this point. So both teams just trying to get as much grain in at this point. This stage is all about getting as much grain together as possible and creating as much straw as possible and being stopped because you're full like that. That costs time.
Yeah.
That is not a great position to be in. Your opponents, if you mistime it and you're not able to empty your combines and keep them running,
early delivery.
that could cause problems. And New Holland like to do this actually. They don't do a complete empty, but they like to get a bit of grain in there early, get themselves a healthy multiplier. But it's not so that they can have the multiplier, it's so that they can make space in that grain trailer and try and get extra grain in to give themselves an advantage later.
True. And now it's going to be 2.7 for New Holland. So, of course, I mean, we still have 1 minute for the drops. But if they, for example, now would be pressing some bails and then, maybe have a bail multiplier, you actually would be having a pretty nice situation. Now we can see Power Team Esports also coming to unload something. So they want to kind of like even out the situation at least. Yeah, they will put it on 2.0 actually pretty accurately because, it's so fast to unload. You have to be very careful how much you're going to pour it down. And they did a great job. So now it's back on 2.0. The belts are the same speed as well on the both sides, and they will just start recollecting the grain. So they're going to refill them, and then they will probably try to see what's going to be coming on the next drops, and then see, what can be done with that grain. So that's pretty much the situation. But yeah, they want to wait for the next drops, and no bails have been pressed. So if there's going to be a bail multiplier, for example, the teams will have a bit of a trouble to actually take any kind of an advantage from it. And yesterday we saw grain multipliers so many times, and we haven't yet seen it the whole day. So let's see. Now there's going to be a bail for the New Holland, and the direct delivery and bridges raised. So
neither of them particularly useful at this stage.
Yeah, no multipliers. Nothing that disruptive either, no silo closed or anything like that. So yeah, they can just continue as they were planning to do originally. And both teams are now doing the bales. They have about the same amount of bales and the grain. So this is looking to be pretty even.
Yeah, I think both teams are looking pretty healthy at this point. It is going to come down to a straight delivery of of bales at the end, depending on who can press them. Just, yeah, Obvious is yeah, he's got out and he's got the bridges raised. Trying to cause a bit of disruption, but in fact both teams have got the bridges raised now. So yeah, they have gone for them and trying to be a bit disruptive, which makes sense.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we do have a belt being stopped as well. So Power Team Esports, the belt is broken, as we can see. And we do have a bit of a setup building up here. Of course, they will do something about it as they will start pouring down the grain at some point later on, because we still have a lot of grain available for Power Team Esports, and it's going to be back in action, as we can see. New Holland's going to be also pouring down the remains, what they still had, just a very small amount of it. And do we have the final multipliers now? It's going to be 2.1 for New Holland.
That's good for New Holland, and that's why New Holland go and dump that grain early on. It's a little bit risky because if grain multiplier turns up later on, they are at a bit of a disadvantage. But when it comes out like this, you end up with that 2-point advantage for every bale. And going into the last 3 minutes, that becomes really strong because every bale you deliver, you're scoring 2 more points than your opponent.
Well, there we go, 3.5 minutes, and you know, no bales have been delivered so far. Of course, we will see that changing pretty soon as the first bales are coming in for New Holland with 21 points per each bale, so they will get one of them inside. Second one is going to go inside as well. Power Team Esports hasn't been delivering yet any, but they are just about to get the bales next to the belt, and they will start operating it pretty soon. They still have plenty of time, more than 3 minutes, so that's going to be plenty of it, depending, of course, how many bales they want to deliver in the end. But yeah, with the belt speed that they currently have, which is one notch higher than New Holland, they shouldn't have any problems with it.
And we're seeing New Holland beginning to score there, and Lord Baylor picked up by New Holland, so they immediately score 2 bales. They go up to 230. They have a healthy 60-point lead, down to 50-point lead now.
Yeah, let's have a look how this plays out. But yeah, it's a nice lead what they currently have. It's going to be 45 points, and I mean, they are pretty even with the bale counts as well. So I would say that New Holland, they have a slight advantage here. They have the gap, they have been delivering, and you know, that gap, every second that counts from the clock, of course, that's going to be making a difference. But now we can see Power Team Esports also taking the lead as they will get some bales in on their behalf. I think 3 bales actually just went in, and now they are leading by 12 points. So this is going back and forth.
Have 14 bales though, and Power Team Esports only have 9, and you know there is less than a bale between the teams. So definitely advantage is still sitting in New Holland's court. They still have 21 points per bale, and they have more bales. And now they've gone 50 points into the lead, and even further now. So yeah, Power Team Esports really need to get pressing bales, get them in, because that deficit they're at in the multiplier at the moment is costing them every minute they're not, and it's that efficiency that is going to be key.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, now the bale count is pretty much the same, but we still have the difference on the points, which is about 60 points as we speak. And of course, every bale they deliver, they had 13 bales remaining, so that's going to be increasing the gap about with 30 points as well. When you take, well, not 30, but let's say at least with 20 points. And then we'll see how much it's going to generate. But yeah, New Holland is just, you know, putting the bales, and I think we're running out of time. We have 1 minute starting, the final minute's going to be starting up. Power Team Esports is now getting those bales inside, but I'm slightly worried about the time to get all the bales in, because the last minute is there, and I don't think in the world there's going to be a situation where you can put 12 bales on the belt in a minute, that they actually go all the way on the second floor. And so the time is going to be definitely of the essence, and the gap is just increasing.
With both teams having that JCB playing now, I'm interested to see how many bales they each score. Because if they're up there with that sort of that 27 bale range, that shows how much difference that tractor actually makes. Because most teams we see doing 22, 23, sort of up to 25, but we consistently see Helm scoring 27 bales in a match.
Yeah, the final moments are coming. There's 8 bales undelivered for the Power Team Esports when we have a couple of seconds remaining. They will try to do something. Obelix is not going to be able to get those in, unfortunately. He's going to be getting stuck. And in the end, it's going to be New Holland who's going to win the series. And if you're wondering, those 3 bales, they wouldn't have changed the overall situation because the gap was so big. But still, unfortunate to see Obelix getting stuck there.
And actually, that probably is one of the downsides of that JCB is because it's got those the 4-wheel steering.
So
getting it up that is hard.
Can we actually blame you then?
In that instance, I've not seen anybody else try and drive the JCB up that.
Yeah.
But it's still less bales than Helm are doing. 24 bales and 23 bales.
Yeah, so it's going to be New Holland winning the first game of the best-of-3 series, and now, of course, the next game, which is going to be starting in a couple of minutes. Then we'll see, can Power Team Esports change the situation, and, of course, the losing team, once again, will be dropping out of the tournament completely, and the winning team will be heading towards the semi-final of the lower bracket. That is the situation. Once again, lovely view from the audience, and we can see a lot of Alex's friends.
Lots of great Farming Simulator fans out there in the audience here at LAMMA. We are, as I say, we are stoked to be here. It is absolutely a fantastic couple of days we've had.
Is that a rock star?
I hear he's a really big YouTuber.
Yeah, I think every time DJ is on the camera and he does that thing, like, yeah, I wanna rock, something like that. Anyways, back to the ban phase. So we have the second game of the series starting, and yeah, let's see. I mean, I guess we're gonna expect pretty much the same. The big tractors, because the class Axion actually being banned now, and then we can expect to have the telehandlers maybe next, and then another like a John Deere or something. That's what I'm expecting.
I'm not expecting Power Team Esports to leave those telehandlers out. They don't like going up against them, and they do tend to ban them. And as I said, it's the one type of ban where you can take out an entire category of equipment if you ban both of them.
Yeah, they are gone, and yeah, Fend is going to be another big tractor. Going to leave the John Deere available for the teams, but you know, you have to leave something. Of course, that's the price what you pay when you ban the class Axion. But let's see what's going to be here. So Bottleneck versus Unstoppable. So the big holes are done.
We've seen this happen quite a bit, actually, yesterday, where people weren't going Big Haul versus Unstoppable. And we got a lot of Bottleneck versus Unstoppable instead. And Unstoppable is a powerful team perk, but I think it's most powerful going up against Big Haul.
Okay. So yeah, John Deere is going to be chosen by New Holland. Of course, the perks are going to be the same, more or less. No JCB so far. So that is a change. Okay.
Both teams trying it out after what I said last game, and now going back to the more standard stuff. Although I noticed New Holland going with 2 big tractors, and as I said yesterday, that does limit how many bales you can get back at once. You have to do more trips if you're using 2 big tractors, because you can't get every front loader tractor can get 3 bales on the front and at least 2 bales in the in the baler. Whereas the big tractors, yes, they can do the bigger balers, but the bigger balers only hold 3 bales.
Yeah.
So with a front loader tractor, you're getting 5 bales back every time. With a big tractor, you're only getting 3.
Yeah. Well, the move that we just saw on the gate from Obelix actually towards Valo, it's I think something that's Farmer Cop is actually pretty familiar with. That is the nudging move, which the police officers do when they want to stop a criminal. They will just nudge you on the backside of the car, and then we'll flip. Fortunately, this time it didn't flip. And yeah, as we do have the first bell building up once again. And I mean, you spoke about the big tractors on the Power Team Esports side. And of course, I mean, that also makes you not so agile when it comes to the strategies. If there's going to be something surprising happening, they can't react so fast. Fato's going to go for the first bell delivery. And once again, this is actually looking to be a very good first. 147 is definitely doable here, of 146 at least. And it's going to be 147, so it's going to be even an improvement of 1 point from the previous first bale. And where's Power Team Esports? They are getting close. Obelix going to be taking the death and the destruction route. And the new name has officially came into effect, I guess. And it's going to be another 20-point difference. Yeah, exactly 20 points. So it's going to be actually more than we had on the first game.
Yeah, that's a full bale in the top.
Full bale.
Which is yeah, that means they need to score an extra bale and they need to score on top. They've managed to keep it just to a single bale because it's always harder when it's more than one bale. But it being exactly on again makes it more difficult. That is just to keep the score even.
Well, speed limit which is raised. So let's see if there's going to be somebody going for the speed limit. We don't know yet. It's a little bit far, and we do have a replay about that notch. So yeah, it is definitely the police move, and I think that the Farmer Cup would be proud of that.
We have bridges. I missed the second one, but we got bridges raised, and bridges raised and speed limit, and Velo is running
there.
over to speed limit now. So Power Team Esports getting in there, doing some disruption. 9 seconds left, but Cygnus is going to make it and has grabbed the speed limit as well. So both teams now slowed down. So less straw being created, less grain being created, and it's going to take them longer to get to the sell point. Two very different strategies here. You can see Fatu has not unfolded the auger on his trailer. That makes it much easier for him to maneuver between the buildings. Whereas Power Team Esports, so Obelix has unfolded it, and it means he has to go much more carefully through these entranceways. Otherwise, he's going to clip one of the buildings. And we've seen someone end up in a tree. Having that auger out as they approach this point.
And they also want to park it on different sides of it. This is the difference how they build the setups. Let's see if there's going to be any pouring. Yeah, Pato's actually pouring down once again, and that's kind of like trying to force Obelix to do the same as well. So they both are pouring it down, and let's see where the multiplier is going to be ending up. New Holland's going to be fine with the fact how much they have, and Obelix can just follow to put it back to 2.0 maybe. Maybe that's the case, and yeah, they're going to end up exactly with the same. Power Team is, of course, running with the faster belt because they do have the unstoppable currently, and the speed limit is going to be still for a slight time in effect, but you know, just like a 4 to 10 seconds as we can see.
And the second class Lexington combine for both teams was not available this time, so this is why we've got the John Deere and the Ideal combines being used by both teams. This Vultra, this is a really good tractor as well to have as a cross between a baling tractor and a front loader tractor. It's again, it's one of the faster tractors in the game. It is also one of the more powerful ones, so it can run most of these balers really efficiently, and ends up being able to get those 5 bales back.
Yeah, Valtra is a great one. I mean, it's a Finnish tractor, made in Finland, so I'm very proud of Valtra. And of course, very nice to see her actually at the LAMMA as well, that they do have a pretty big stand as well. So if you're interested, go and have a look. But of course, all the other brands are going to be there as well. And I did have a look on the Ideal in the morning, and that was a really impressive piece of mechanics.
I had a good look around the Valtra stand earlier, and yeah, there's some lovely tractors on that stand.
Anyways, back to the game. We can see the drops are there. And what do we have? Silo closed. I think I saw Silo closed there. And then the other one, yeah, it's going to be grain multiplier. So this is as disruptive as it can be. And they're just going to be wondering, like, what should we do? The amount of grain, New Holland still has 39. And it's, I mean, yeah, Power Team Esports has been delivering some. They are leading with 2x2 multiplier. I mean, leading with the multiplier. But I think that there's actually enough grain on New Holland that much more that they can shift it. And of course, if somebody picks the grain multiplier, but it's going to be silo close, by the way, picked by the both of the teams, so they will not go for the multiplier. And this is actually good for Power Team Esports for the time being, but now should be the time when they should be delivering something, because I'm slightly afraid that the advantage of the 2.2 is going to wear off. And exactly what you're going to say, I know, the big tractors, right?
But no, what I was going to say was, I think if I was Power Team Esports, there's not a huge amount of threat at the moment from New Holland delivering their grain. They've selected silos closed. They're not in a position to score points with bales. So why not grab the multiplier and get a few seconds of grain multiplier for yourselves? You know, fill up your trailers, and then in that moment when your silo reopens before your grain multiplier runs out, deliver any grain under that multiplier and have that advantage of the multiplier at the end.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Anyways, we do have New Holland delivering some bales, even though they have just 1.8 multiplier, but still they're going to be fine with it, getting that 18 points per bale. Power Team Esports is doing actually, actually it was Power Team Esports who was delivering the bales, me be blind once again. So they are getting the advantage from the 2.2. Now the silos are back open, and we can see that the multipliers are going to be just starting to change. 2.0s, we still have New Holland with plenty of grain to spare, and they will start pouring it down. And in the end, I'm expecting that the multiplier will actually stay on the side of New Holland when this unloading ends, as there was like about 20k more grain. But New Holland started to pour it down earlier, so just going to have to wait and see. It's going to be 2.1. Yeah, it's going to have a slight advantage there.
And that's where what I was saying about Power Team Esports should have taken the grain multiplier. Because if it was going to end up like this, they scored no bales while they had an advantage on the multiplier. They could easily have reversed this and ended up not at this disadvantage.
Let's wait and see. I mean, New Holland, they do have actually like a half slower belt than Power Team Esports, and that's probably going to play some kind of a factor. They don't have a huge amount of bales available, either of the teams. I think they have less than 10. And the gap is 30 points. So yeah, Power Team Esports is currently on the lead, and that 2 points per bale difference is not going to be enough to close it down. So there needs to be something happening. So New Holland, they need to be either more efficient or they need to come up with something else. And of course, if there would be like a bale of points or something coming up, but that's a different story, and that is actually gone already, so it's not there.
We're down to the last 1 minute 45. We've got 14 bales here for Power Team Esports. They have a nice little bit of an advantage points-wise. We've only got 12 bales for New Holland, so New Holland are 2 bales down compared to Power Team Esports, but they do have that multiplier, so every bale they deliver has a 2-point advantage. So they deliver, they basically get an extra bale's worth of points every 9 bales compared to their opponents. So being a couple of bales down with what they have isn't that bad. They can close that up, and they are now only about 30 points behind. They need to keep those bales coming in, and they need to keep scoring those points to close that gap.
Well, New Holland is now putting there's 4 bales actually on the belt. We can see on the X-ray how much faster the Power Team Esports belt is, as they are just like flying in compared to the New Holland. So New Holland, they have to work really hard to somehow get the points in. So this is looking very good for Power Team Esports for the time being. And of course, I mean, New Holland is leading the series, so if Power Team Esports doesn't win this one, they would be out of the tournament. So they got to do everything they can. There's a lot of bales actually on the belt. There's 4 of them currently for New Holland. And there's going to be 2 more. I think there's going to be just enough time. There's going to be some bales dropping down on the Power Team Esports side, and the gap is going to be only 4 points as we have 20 seconds to go. There's going to be some of the bales going to be going on the first floor already. We can see Cygnus coming with a couple of more. El Papito's going to be climbing up New Holland on the lead currently. Papito's going to be he's not going to be able to make it. He's going to be getting stuck. He's going to be getting 2 bales. Oh, they're going to fall down! And there's going to be 2 more bales coming from the New Holland side of things. And I'm pretty sure that New Holland, in the end, they have that on their pockets. And it's going to be defeat for Power Team Esports. So in the end, New Holland will win the series 2-0.
Yeah, New Holland going through 439 to 419.
Ugh. That was a that was a close ending. And of course, I mean, having those two bales dropping down from the belt on the final seconds, it is devastating,
Yes.
but it just happened. But New Holland, they have something to discuss here clearly as well. I mean, I don't know what they're talking about, but that looks very hectic. They should be happy. They made it. They won it.
That was very well played. I think at the end there was that whole thing with the slow belt. I mean, we saw the advantage that Unstoppable gives in those final moments, but it wasn't enough. And yeah, New Holland played really, really well and took it.
Yeah, it was a great recovery. I mean, the belt was just so much slower, and I was really afraid that they don't have the time to put the bales in. But they were doing a great job getting those batches of 2, 3 of them, so 6 bales in total. And at the same time, of course, a little unfortunate from the Power Team Esports side. I mean, they had 3 bales on the fork, and he was almost falling down. Managed to still put 2 of them there, but then they fall away. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, New Holland's got to go, and they will face Trelleborg Tires in the next game.
Yes. So and then of course whoever wins that is heading to the final and will face Helm.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind actually seeing Helm versus New Holland. I mean, I mean, we saw that happening last season quite many times on the final. But of course, we go too far away with our speculations. We're going to be going for a short break, about 3 minutes, and we'll be right back with the next game, which is going to be another best of 3 series.
We'll see you then. Hello and welcome back to round 5 of the Farming Simulator League, coming live from LAMMA. We have had some cracking games today already. Our most recent one being New Holland versus Power Team Esports. New Holland playing a blinder, I thought, and going through, and will be now facing Trelleborg.
Yeah. Will be an interesting. I mean, New Holland has been playing really well, and of course, I mean, Trelleborg Tires has been playing very well as well. And yeah, I mean, Trelleborg, they lost to Helm, but it was a very close series in the end. I mean, went all the way to the third match of the series, and at the same time as we saw New Holland playing very powerfully. What I want to see what's going to happen with the telehandlers here, because we know that both teams, they kind of like to play with them as well. So will they allow it, just like we saw on the Trelleborg Tires versus Helm game, or will they be banned?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because, yeah, Trelleborg, as we've seen, really do like to use telehandlers and use them effectively. But we've seen New Holland do the same. We saw them earlier, and we saw them yesterday, doing exactly that. Of course, we've got the replays at the moment. Unfortunate Obelisk getting stuck here with JCB on the side in the dying moments. The bales wouldn't have made the difference, but it was still frustrating for him to get stuck on there like that. Both teams coming in and doing fairly early grain drops in the second game.
Yeah.
And quite a strong grain game from both. It was, as I said at the time, I was a little bit surprised with the amount of time left on the silo closed. Why they didn't go for, or why Power Team Esports didn't go for the grain multiplier, just to get that little bit of a push as soon as their silo reopened, because it would have made little difference otherwise. Yeah, I don't know if there wasn't enough time from that, or without. I think it would take a deeper dive, but it certainly, to me, it makes sense. It would, because it would have evened things up, and maybe not given them that deficit going into the latter parts of that game.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you can do something different there on the middle. Well, they decided to follow the same strategy as the opponent. And in the end, when we think about the final seconds of the game, they did fail with a couple of bales, which they didn't get on the second floor. And if I remember the point difference completely, I didn't see it exactly as it happened. But I think that if those two bales which dropped on the side, if they actually would have gone in, they would have won it.
Quite possibly. That's 40 points. I don't think there was that much difference between the two teams.
I don't think that they had the time to actually put them on the lower side either, so they were just undelivered completely. So I'm just saying that, yeah, the strategy they chose, they could have done differently. They wanted to go with the safer way, not with the safer route. And I think they definitely had a chance, because, I mean, just like 1 minute before the game actually ended, I mean, they were leading by the points. They had a faster belt. So in the end, I think that it came down with the how they operate the belt during the last final minute. And New Holland just did a very good job on it. But anyways, that is done. And New Holland's going to be now facing Trelleborg Tires and Power Team Esports. Unfortunately, they are out of the tournament, but they did very well. And now we just have a couple of teams remaining, and we'll see who's going to be going to the grand final. That is the case here.
This has been a good tournament for Trelleborg so far. This is the highest they've made it this season so far. So I think this is probably going to send them a bit up the board with the points they'll score here. So yeah, it's already a pretty big weekend for Trelleborg. It's actually also a pretty big weekend, a really big tournament. Keep saying that for New Holland as well, because New Holland are the only member of the second, third and fourth place teams who are still in this tournament. And as a result, they are going to leapfrog both Valtra and Lindner to sit second place overall in this year's standings.
Yeah, that is guaranteed. Bottleneck versus Big Hall, that's going to be the chosen perks for the teams. And yeah, we'll see. Also, we saw that the telehandlers were being banned as well. Meanwhile, as we were talking about some other stuff. But yeah, the situation is very interesting. And I'm already thinking about the grand final. I know, of course, we have the semi-final first, but I'm thinking about the possible outcomes of this. And of course, we had a coverage about what's going to happen with the points. And then I said that I wouldn't mind seeing New Holland and Helm playing on the final. I said it like before the break. But now when I think about it, the Trelleborg versus Helm was so close.
I think
it would be absolutely magnificent to see that again. And if Trelleborg, for example, have maybe let's say come up with some new tricks.
You know what? Trelleborg and New Holland have been playing so strongly this tournament that I think either team making it through to the final is going to be a really good match against them.
Yeah, every time when you get through to the grand final from the lower bracket, that is exciting to see. And then, of course, the difference is we have made it to the grand final, best of 5 instead of 2 best of 3. So that's an interesting factor as well. But anyways, we are getting ready for the first match of the series, and it's a semi-final from the lower bracket. The winning team's going to be going all the way to the grand final, and the losing team will be ending up on a bronze placement on this specific tournament here. Meanwhile, Peter's going to go for the class. He's going to pick that up, and I don't know if he's getting stuck. We saw yesterday that somebody got actually stuck and they didn't get away from the pads, but it seems that Tita is going to be going just nicely. So he's going to go and try to get that grain made for the bale or the straw. And meanwhile, of course, we do have other people grabbing up the balers. We can see Trelleborg also heading to the fields, but clearly New Holland has a better placement already, so they should be, at least based on what we see currently, yes, as we can see on the X-ray, Trelleborg is right there, trailing them a bit further away, and now Fatu is already leaving with the baler, going to be trying to deliver that first bale. Of course, it will not be 140s because they're so far away. So let's just wait and see what's going to happen here. But it's going to take some time. But it's going to be, 130 something, I guess.
Yeah, the combine placement on the pods to begin with was over the far side. So both teams having to start harvesting at the far end of the field rather than the closer end. That does cause a lower first bale. And a 131 actually is quite reasonable from where they were having to start this game. Still quite a way behind Trelleborg, and Hayden has hit the barn and dropped the bale well outside of it. So he's going to have to go back round and push that in.
And that is so far away that it's not easy. But it's a good job. It's a good steady job. But no, he's going to miss that in the end. It looked so good for a while.
Drops having come in as he's still trying to get that first bale in. 106.
25 points of a difference. Which is raised, and there was something else as well. But he was just so fast that I didn't see it.
And Hayden tried to get the bridge is raised, and he's been blocked from getting back out there, so that slowed him down as well. This is a horrible start.
Silo close is the other
Trelleborg.
one. Yeah, that caused it a lot of time. We spoke about the first bale in the past, that, okay, you get some points with it, but also if you don't get a great first bale, you're going to lose a lot of time. And now you lost so much time that you didn't even get away from the barn anymore using the normal route, as the bridge was. Actually, they picked the drop. Yeah, they picked the drop. Silo, the bridge is raised, and that actually blocked him there.
Wonderfully disruptive gameplay there from New Holland, and perfectly timed as well. Made Hayden go all the way around, has stopped their class combine, because class combine is full and can't move. So that's delaying the amount of grain they're creating, that's delaying the amount of straw they're creating. That has disrupted Trelleborg really, really well. Fantastic gameplay there from New Holland.
Yeah, that was some great dynamic gameplay once again, like reacting to the situation, taking the right drop, because normally you might not go for it at all. But then they notice that, okay, he's still there, they haven't delivered, he's got to be right next to the barn, and then bam, just close the bridges in front of him.
And the interesting thing about Bridges Race is Bridges Race is a fantastic one to play against Trelleborg, because Trelleborg have got Bottleneck versus Bickel. So their bridges are all down, and that has raised all three of them, which gives New Holland the same perk for even a short period as Trelleborg has. Whereas Trelleborg doing the bridges race only raises one bridge on New Holland's side, and New Holland weren't anywhere near it.
Well, meanwhile, New Holland's going to be delivering some, once again, early delivery before the drops are coming in. They have the big haul, they didn't pour everything down, just small parts of it, 2.7. I think that's the multiplier they have been going almost every time with the initial short drop that they are doing. And that's pretty fair. I mean, the belt is going to be still operational. We actually see Trelleborg's belt is like, super speed currently. All the, 6 of the small dots are still right there indicating the speed. Hayden going to take this whatever route between the buildings, going to be just running and get the baler, I guess, at some point. And we'll just have to wait and see how far he's going to be running. But yeah, definitely we'll pick up some equipment from top of the hill. And when we see the grain, so Trelleborg is closing on 60,000, which is I mean usually teams are going over 65 when they're playing against the big hall. So let's see how far they will actually end up with it. And the New Holland still having 53, so it's looking to be pretty even, and the drops are coming in as well.
And we've got New Holland playing a really good game. They're already out there pressing Bales as well, and you can see Tita following behind the Baler, picking up those Bales. And just to make sure that they get those early bales in, they've got that 2.7 multiplier.
Yeah.
If they can get these bales delivered,
they're pretty close as well. I mean, we can see the barn already. They're very close. And if it's going to work, it's going to go bridges lowered, and it's going to lower the bridges. It can straight away go and deliver those bales. Maybe they will get some points with the 2.7 multipliers, or 27 points per bale. If that's going to be happening, he's going to be arriving. Is he going to be on time at the silo? He's going to start loading. Fato's going to be coming, but he's not going to be the one who's going to be putting them on the belt. So we are still missing Tita, and they will pour down the rest of it. And let's see what's going to happen now. They will try to make sure that they will still have a decent multiplier for these bales. And Tita is coming. He's going to go straight to the belt and put them in. And now they're both unloading, and we'll see will they do something with that multiplier, because Trelleborg is definitely still unloading. There's going to be 14k remaining for New Holland, and they want to get some decent points out of exactly from these bales what they're currently delivering. That's going to be 1 and 2, and the third one's going to follow as well. And now we have still 27k remaining on Trelleborg, but will they have the time? We have still 2.7. 2.7 is going to still stay there, and though these 3 bales, it could be almost 100 points. There's going to be 2 more coming on the belt. Less than 4 minutes on the clock. That's one bale at least going in. This is huge if they can get all those 5 bales in.
That is masterful play from New Holland. That is New Holland getting that 2.7 multiplier and holding it there to score as many points with as big a multiplier as they can. That is a huge amount of points they've just scored.
Yeah, that's a great play. I mean, yes, Trelleborg was unloading, so they didn't get 27 points from each of them, but I think they got at least 27 twice, 25 and 24 maybe from one or something like that.
25 and 24, and it was just...
Anyways.
Absolutely fantastic. And that is the best play I think I've ever seen from a team. Going in there and holding a multiplier so that they can score as many points as possible off it.
Yeah, and everything was lining up. I mean, the stars were aligning correctly.
Yeah.
The bridges lowered, coming exactly at the right time as well. So once again, great show of the dynamic play that we just mentioned. They did that at the start as well with the bridges raised, and now they did it with the bridges lowered. So very, very nicely played. And they will go for the bale points as well.
So everything going in New Holland's way. But we saw this, so that entire gameplay of holding that multiplier where they wanted it started with the early unloading. You then saw it with when they're pressing the first bales, Tita following behind, picking up those first 3 bales, being in a position to get those drops, and then as they're sitting there holding the multiplier where it was, loading those bales up.
And they're leading by 200 points, more than 200 points. That's a huge difference there. So, I mean, if they were, I would say that they were slightly lucky with the drops, but with this kind of, let's say, with this amount of luck, you could just go and put the lottery ticket in as well.
But I think that's the first time I've seen a team line themselves up like that to take advantage of a multiplier.
Yeah, it was really good.
Just such fantastic play.
Okay, now we have some deliveries coming from Trelleborg as well. I think we have the final multipliers on the play as well. So 1.9 versus 2.1. So in the end, New Holland will keep the advantage of the multiplier as well. Of course, the gap is going to be closing. It's about 100 points now. 11 bales for Trelleborg currently and 12 for New Holland. So, you know, when it comes to the points and the bales, the 100-point gap is a real one.
Yeah, that is a massive hill for Trelleborg to climb, and with a multiplier going against them as well. So they've not only got to close this gap, they've got to press even more bales in order to do it. That's going to be hard with just over a minute left on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, the final minute is coming. The gap is about the same. So now we have just like the belts are, I mean, reasonable speed for New Holland. They showed on the previous game that they are not afraid if the belt is going to be slightly slower than the other ones. I mean, we had exactly the same situation with Power Team Esports, that they had a faster belt. But New Holland was still able to win it with the slower one, even though they were lacking some points at some point as well. So this is looking very good for New Holland. And of course, Trelleborg is trying to do everything they can to get more bales, and we can see that they're definitely operating around the belt. We can see Signis coming in with a delivery, 35 seconds to go. So yeah, the final seconds are starting. The gap is about the same, 80 points. Okay, now it's going to be closing down a little bit, of course, of variation. We can see the bales are going in. And pretty much the same speed as well. So the advantage on the belt speed is like a very, very minor, as we can see. And when you look at the bales currently on the belt, we can see from the X-ray, there's more bales on the belt on the New Holland side all the time. 2 bales on the belt, and Trelleborg is getting like then 1 by 1, and they only have 3 bales. They don't have the bales to catch up anymore. It's going to be New Holland who's going to take this for sure. There's nothing they can do about it anymore, and New Holland will be happy to claim the first game of the series, and of course that's going to be one more obstacle taken away from the path to go to the grand final.
Yeah, and that was masterful. That was absolutely beautiful to see that work, precision scoring.
Yeah.
And I love it when I see that. I love it when it's going through and you see a team take advantage of everything they can going through. From the moment they did the bridges raised in the first few minutes and completely disrupted Trelleborg, then through to lining themselves up to take advantage of that multiplier. Absolutely fantastic gameplay.
It was definitely like a teamwork and dynamic gameplay masterclass.
It was. That's one of the best games from that point of view I think I've seen.
Yeah, it was really nice to see. And now, of course, Trelleborg, I mean, they need to win the next one. As we can see, the players are there. They are not really stressing about it. Of course, they are using these like a finger warming sacks or whatever they are called. I don't know what's the official term for them. And making sure that they will try to do their best on the next game of the series. Of course, we can see the audience. We saw JK once again being there, the alpha male, watching it, what the possible opponents are doing. And
seeing average Viking
ice
sitting
cream
at the
and
back there
everything.
with his
So
beautiful beard.
it's pretty chill. And of course we can see that all these PlayStation consoles and everything. So if you happen to be at the venue, go and try it out. We do have different versions of the Farming Simulator available for gaming, actually, just behind the audience. And but yeah, the second game of the series is just about to start. Once again, Trelleborg versus New Holland, and of course New Holland just 1 win away from the grand finals. Trelleborg 2 wins away.
So pressure is on for Trelleborg now. This is their last chance to stay in this.
Last chance. That sounds very...
they need to win.
Yeah, it sounds, it's like a last chance. Okay, this is new actually. Telehandlers being banned by both of the teams in a way. I mean, usually it's one team that's going to ban both of them, but now they're like doing teamwork here when they're banning them. Okay, this is fine. We don't want to play with this. Class Axion taken away by New Holland, and Trelleborg will choose the final big tractor maybe. Let's see what's going to be there. But yeah.
Interesting that Trelleborg banned one telehandler and New Holland banned the other.
Yeah, they decided that, okay, we want to play it this way.
and Trelleborg making a statement, they have banned the New Holland tractor.
Yeah. It's all about the statements. The perks are going to be reversed. I would imagine that we do have Unstoppable coming now on the side of Trelleborg. I mean, it would be just weird not to play it at this point.
To pull out what is widely regarded as the most
cards on the table. Cards on the table. Or they could have chosen Herbicide. But that's a different thing. Anyways, yeah. So we have the players now choosing their perks and the vehicles. So yeah, should be pretty basic. John Deere's coming on the both sides, the small and the big brother as well, the massive John Deere 8R. And then let's see the final. What do we have coming in? Fendt, a lot of green.
The JCB's coming out.
Yeah, JCB Fast Track. Alex's favorite.
Next to the T6.
Yeah, and the what was the tractor you mentioned earlier? You got the cap as well.
Oh, yeah, no.
Not on the game, I know.
I popped over to Kubota.
Kubota, yeah.
Picked up a cap to add to my wall of caps.
I don't know why, but to me it sounds like a far away, distant Asian country. Maybe I have seen the Apocalypse Now too many times. Anyways, we are going back ready for the first bale once again. We can see Fato dropping the weight. That's going to be left there. And they will be heading towards the pass. We can see Tita. There's going to be a challenge here with the Trelleborg and New Holland
can
for
Tita
the
do it
class.
again? No,
and
he's
it's going to be
gone.
just give it away for Trelleborg.
He swerved at the last minute, realised he wasn't going to get that combine, and headed over to the New Holland, which was probably a really good choice. Because if you go for something and you're unable
close
to get it, you're able to get a closer combine to this point here and get a higher first bale.
Yeah, I mean, that's very close. And as you said it, I mean, he noticed that he's not going to get it because Hayden actually having a pretty good chance for a very good first bale. So Hayden's going to be now going for the bridges. This could be 140 definitely something if he's going to miss it. But it could be 150 actually if he's going to get that in.
Yes!
And it is 150. It's the highest first bale we're going to see the whole day. It is Trelleborg fighting back.
Absolutely. A 150, that is the highest first bale we've had the whole tournament. We had a 148 was the highest we had yesterday. So fantastic first bale there from Trelleborg. Puts them on a good start, and Fatu has got a 128.
Yeah.
So 22 points, so more than a bale.
1.1 bales. 1.1 bales, that is the gap. So that's how it starts. Trelleborg, I mean, magnificent start at this point. Bridges lowered and silo closed here. So probably they will just keep them there unless there's something, but there's no big hole, for example, in the place of the silo close. Doesn't make much of a difference.
Big advantage. Although, to be honest, Trelleborg selecting silo close now, that does disrupt New Holland's gameplay.
Slightly.
Means they can't unload at this point without delaying. So if they were to go for that would disrupt them.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I agree definitely. We have seen New Holland drop some of the grain before the drops are coming in, but it's like a 90 seconds or something, so they could still do it just a little bit later. But let's wait and see how they want to play it. But it seems that nobody's going to be going for the drop, so this seems to be pretty much what we expect. Let's see, we do have some grain being collected here. Nothing that special. The both teams are doing pretty much the same as we can see. And then we'll see if there's going to be, we can see Trelleborg now heading towards the silo. We can see New Holland. And I think on the past we have seen New Holland being there earlier. So it must be more like a Trelleborg actually adapting to the situation what New Holland is causing. So now they might have the same plan.
Well, as with the first bale, we know that New Holland are a little bit on the back foot at the moment. They are a little bit behind Trelleborg. They're trying to catch up, and they're not doing too bad. And they're not too far behind. Not in the same way as the first match caused problems for Trelleborg. But they do need to get back out there. They are that little bit behind. They are going for the same strategy again, so they are unloading grain. If they take it up to the 2.7, though, they are not going to have a working belt. Their belt will stop at 2.5 multiplayer, as it has. So they're not going to be able to take as much advantage of that multiplier as they did in the last game.
Yeah, let's see what Trelleborg is going to do. I mean, they didn't pour anything down. They just wanted to have the trailer right next to the silo. So I think they kind of had a chance of somehow disrupting a little bit there if they would have gone for the early unload as well, because that's probably something which New Holland wasn't expecting.
I think they don't need to. They've got unstoppable. There is no danger of New Holland being able to score a lot of points like they did last game because they don't have a working belt at the moment.
Unless they're going to climb.
There is that.
Who knows what might happen, but less than 6 minutes, just 25 seconds away from the drops, and then we'll see what kind of, let's say, twists are going to be coming to this plot of the game. But so far, I mean, New Holland did the unloading, and now we'll see what Trelleborg wants to do. 72,000 of grain. 72,000 liters.
That's a crazy amount.
That's a crazy amount of grain, to be honest.
That's the class combines. That's having 2 class combines come in and the overloader.
Yeah, and there we can see the 2 class combines are arriving with the tank lids open.
And it's bale multiplier.
That is interesting.
You might be right.
We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, that's an interesting factor how this is going to be played. Fato, will he go and pick the Bale multiplier? Will they wait? They still have 40 seconds to do it.
I think they'll pick it as, I think Tito will pick it as he goes past.
Yeah, now we have Trelleborg tires actually starting to unload. So they will need to get rid of that grain as well. They have so much of it. It's going to take a bit of a time as well because we don't have the big haul in play. We can see Tita going to pick up something else to use with. And yeah, let's see. Nothing has been yet picked from the drops. 2.0 multipliers for both of them. So we don't have any huge advantages here. We can see New Holland starting to unload at the same time as well. And definitely Trelleborg, they do have more grain, that we know. That in the end, they should have an advantage on the multiplier. Bale multiplier is going to be picked by Tita. And then we'll see what's going to happen. Also, Heiden's going to go for it almost at the same time, just a couple of seconds later, but not going to make much of a difference there. And the 2.6 multiplier for New Holland, if they want to climb all the way. Fato's going to bring the bales there, and now we just wait if we do have somebody who's going to be starting to do something with the bales. But now Trelleborg is actually changing the multiplier. It's going to go completely on the other side, I think, as soon as they are finished with the unloading. But they first need to do all these tricks with the class combines.
Yeah, and Tita needs to go and score now. It's with the 2.3 multiplier, the slow belt. He kind of needs to get in there and score those points to be getting the same sort of advantage they had last game. And Loika having trouble getting these bales. They're not staying on the front.
Yeah, and Tita's going to go. Is he going to climb or is he going to put them on the belt? They have to. I mean, the belt is very slow. So it's very slow, so we'll see what he plans to do.
I think he's going to climb.
Yeah, I think he's planning to do some kind of ape thing there. He just wants to go and climb. There's going to be bananas waiting at the top for sure for him. But no, he's going to put them on the belt.
And it's still a 2 times multiplier, 1.9.
Yeah.
So it's going against New Holland at the moment.
Yeah,
it's
but still the multiplier's there. But I'm just worried about the time, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, okay, 31 points.
So they
will
get scoring some at it.
Yeah.
They won't. I don't think they'll score any more than that.
No. And these, I mean, is this going to be at all? No,
he's
not going to get any of the multiplier points.
So that issue with the bales that Loika was having, getting them on the front, that has cost them use of that multiplier.
Yeah, and we have the final multipliers. I mean, I don't think that New Holland's going to pour down on 300-something liters. It's not going to make any kind of a difference. Multipliers switch, by the way, here, which could work for New Holland. Cygnus is not that far away, but do they have the position to actually use it? Loiko is going to be spotting down these 3 bales on the road. I mean, just the usual thing that you see on the road. Going to be a couple of bales just lying down there. Fato's going to come with more bales. And let's see. I mean, New Holland has taken the lead, but then 4 points per bale is the difference.
That's a big disadvantage.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, but if let's say that Trelleborg has these small issues with the bales, for example, and that's going to cost some time. And we only have 2 minutes remaining, so every second counts, as we know. And even though we might not see it exactly at that moment, but in the end, we usually know what went wrong.
And New Holland do have an advantage in that they have chosen bottleneck against Unstoppable. So they are able to get bales back quicker. They might be able to press more bales as a result because of that. And yeah, we'll see if they can actually keep this very small lead they have. I mean, they're only ahead by 6 points at the moment. So that could disappear very quickly with the advantage that Trelleborg has. And in fact, it has. Trelleborg being 2 points ahead and that faster belt. New Holland need to get extra bales in to make up this difference.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes, but yeah, it's very tight, and we can see Trelleborg catching up all the time. They already have taken the lead, and of course they are also getting the bales inside as well. And with that slightly faster belt, it's not going to be a problem. So we'll see what's going to happen during the last minute, but for sure it's going to be a tight battle. 60 points is now the difference, but that is also because of the fact that there hasn't been a bale delivery to the barn for a while from New Holland. That's going to be fixing up. As we can see, the gap is going to be closing. There's going to be more bales coming in, 18 points per bale. So this is going to be a close one, definitely, and we have started already the last and the final minute.
And 9 bales currently there available for New Holland. I don't know how many we've got available for 8 bales available for Trelleborg. And there's a 30-point difference in it. So New Holland need to get every single one of these bales in, and they need to get every single one in the top.
Yeah, I think
order
both
to
of them
do
need to. That's the thing. But let's see how it plays. I mean, the final 30 seconds has started. We can see that there's a lot of bales on the New Holland side on the belt. There's going to be a couple now coming from Trelleborg as well. There's going to be two stacked together. That one bale is going to be a problem. Fato's going to be trying to fix that up, and he's going to fix it because his Sigyn is coming and putting down something on the lower floor as well. And the gap is pretty big for Trelleborg, to be honest. I don't know if New Holland can still catch that up. They will try to do everything they can. There's going to be a couple more bales, 5 seconds to go.
Oh, no,
very fully close. He's just going to fall down, and that one bale is not going to go in. And in the end, with a very, very small gap difference, we do have actually Trelleborg claiming the first game of the series.
That was actually closer than I was expecting it to be. There is less than 50 points in it. In fact, I'm just watching. Wow, there was less than. I think there was less than 20 points in it.
Yeah, it was definitely a small amount. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, it's
32 points, 34 points.
Yeah.
36
points, yeah. So that is exactly 2 bales from the New Holland side in the end.
And 1 bale undelivered. So that bale that didn't manage to make it into top of that would have...
it wouldn't have fixed the situation.
Fixed it.
So it wasn't about that bale.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but Trelleborg's going to be claiming the first game of the series, so well done.
Of course, New Holland still have Unstoppable as available as a team perk. Trelleborg have used it to make sure that they're still in this. So whichever team loses this next game is their journey here at this 5th round has ended.
But they will still claim the 3rd place on the tournament,
and
they will still get a fair amount of FSL points, and I think they will be getting some money as well. So it's not the end of the world, but of course we want to be playing on the grand final for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and this thing, Trelleborg are guaranteed 60 points from this. That is going to throw them up the table to at least 9th place. If they go beyond this, that's going to throw them a lot further up the table. So they really want to go through this. New Holland, I think, are sitting in 2nd place. Whatever happens with this game, obviously, if they get into the final, that helps them chase down Helm, as every team is doing at the moment.
Okay, so the final game of the series, whatever happens, it happens, and the final decisions who's going to go to the grand final are going to be made on this game. And the telehandlers, we can see New Holland banning the Manitou. I guess they will take the other one as well. We'll see what's going to happen at the end. But it's going to be New Holland and Valtra, which is going to be banned by Trelleborg tires. So New Holland, they can have the option if they want to play with the telehandler.
I'm wondering,
but why?
I was looking at this and I was wondering if there was a bluff here from New Holland. I wonder if New Holland went for banning the Manitou, hoping that Trelleborg wouldn't ban any the other telehandler. And then New Holland wouldn't ban the telehandler, and both teams go for it.
Yeah, but I mean, because they have the Unstoppable, it doesn't make sense. If it would have happened on the previous game, then it would have made sense. But now
they don't want the telehandler there for Trelleborg when Unstoppable is in play.
Yeah, exactly. So, Big Hall versus Unstoppable. And the player perks, the player vehicles, the utility is pretty much the same. Okay, we don't have actually a perk for Highland currently at all. So that's a difference.
I think that's a point-saving thing. Because if you look, they've got 3 points to 5 points for New Holland. So, saving that point by not going for a perk.
Yep. Okay, so small differences here and there. And, the final game of the semi-final, 10 minutes, and then we know who's going to be at the grand final.
I'm intrigued that Trelleborg have gone for Big Hall. Going up against, knowing that they were going to go up against Unstoppable. Well, but I suppose
what options they had? Herbicide.
Herbicide.
Which one is better?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. And the challenges are happening as we speak. Trelleborg kind of had a better start. Fato's going to be slightly late, but is he going to miss that one? No, he's going to catch that one. And so we do have a claim happening there. We can see Fato going for the next pad, needs to get some kind of other kind of a bailer this time, so that's not going to be the choice that he's going to be getting, and that is of course going to slow down the first bale slightly because it's Tita already heading on the field. So they're going to be reasonably close. So this is not the end of the world. Tita will once again, by the way, will go for the New Holland one instead. So he's going to be just settling down with that one instead of going for the class because he Hayden already getting away. But they're pretty far away from the field, to be honest. And this could be that New Holland actually has a better place, as Fato is now having the bale as well ready, so he's going to go for it. And it's going to be pretty even actually with Highland. I think that there's going to be a slight advantage. Yeah, that's it. It's going to be very close with the first bale. Of course, pending how the tosses will go, and Hayden going to be very slow. Fato's going to get that lead with 138, and now Hayden will reverse that in, and it's going to be 120 something. No, 133 actually. Going to be slightly faster than I expected. So just a 5 points of a difference.
Good start from both of them, considering that both were either blocked or were a fair way away from the sell point, or from the barn. So both of them keeping it within 5 points is actually pretty good.
Quarter of a bale. That's the difference. Speed limit, direct delivery, speed limit maybe. No, it's going to be a direct delivery actually being picked by Trelleborg immediately.
Not a bad choice, that. They're able to get a lot of grain in there early. I don't know if New Holland will go for direct delivery. It doesn't tend to fit how they play, and also they're nowhere near it.
Yeah, let's see. But yeah, Trelleborg already unloading, by the way.
And well, no, because that's direct delivery.
Ah, yeah, true. So they were going to stop their belt with the direct delivery at the same time as well. So they will get something immediately delivered there. And yeah, now they will go back to the usual business. So let's see how this plays out. I mean, yeah, Trelleborg, they have now the slight advantage on the multiplier. New Holland's going to be also doing their tricks with the direct delivery at the same time. So they are kind of like forced to take the same. Will they end up with the same multipliers? More or less they should. And then we'll see how this is going to play down. Yeah, 2.0, the belt speed is on the side of New Holland, of course, because they have the unstoppable. And yeah, 7 minutes, 15 seconds to go. And the trailers are going to start moving, well, at least one of the trailers, because the other one has a big haul, going to start moving towards the silo.
Now, it'll be interesting to see if New Holland tip any of their grain at this point. Obviously, it's a little bit later than they normally would because they were using that direct delivery.
Okay, so Fato, we can see, oh, this was interesting. I saw this was happening, so he was just crashing on the baler with the truck just to get there fast, because I was like, oh yeah, usually people brake at that point when they see something on the middle of a road.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can also do it that way. I mean, you don't get the damage on this vehicle, so that's in a way good. New Holland, now they're actually unloading, as we can see. 2.4 coming for them. So they have done their delivery, you know, the initial one, but this time they were going to do it, of course, with trailer, and then we'll see Trelleborg still collecting the grain on the big haul. And just 45 seconds till the drops, and then we'll see how it's going to play down. The gap is still 5 points. Nobody has been delivering any bales since the first ones, and no bales have been pressed either on the New Holland side, but on the Trelleborg side we do have 6, so that's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, getting into that early with the Trelleborg side, getting 6-7 bales ahead at this point is quite important for them, because they've got that slower belt. So they want to have bales early so they can get them onto the belt early so that they can keep a continuous score going.
Loiko going to go and pick up, change the utilities at this point. We can see a huge loading operation happening there on the big side, on the backside towards the big haul from the class combines. And now Hayden, at least going to be dropping some bales. I don't think he wants to score any of those with a 1.6 multiplier, but are they planning to do something with the big haul with these bales? That is the question. So they're putting them ready, bridges lowered and bridges raised. So nothing that disruptive. Yep, something's got to be picked, which is going to be the bridges lowered this time. So that's going to be fine for the moment. And Signis from the New Holland side is going to be building that dropping mechanism or the setup right next to the silo. And now Trelleborg's going to go with the unloading. New Holland's going to go with the unloading as well. And we'll see how this is going to end up. Trelleborg, yeah, they will just like close their belt for a while, but it's going to be resuming operation as soon as the New Holland unloading proceeds.
And that's the thing with Big Haul. Big Haul is just unloads so fast.
That is true.
And just end up with with such a mismatch on the other side. However, Trelleborg now completely unloaded.
There's a lot of bales on them as well.
And there is. They've been really efficient, actually, Trelleborg, going into this.
Now they are starting to
don't
put
know
them.
why. Loiko's going because he's having to drive up here because this belt is so slow. So he's trying to score the extra points at the 2.3 times multiplier. He's managed to do it. So good advantage of the multiplier taken then, especially under these circumstances. More bales coming in now. They've got 6 bales sitting there. Have Trelleborg, and New Holland have yet to score any bales.
Yeah, 69 points from those 3 bales. I mean, with 23 points per bale, so that's a very good amount. And when you look at the bale counts and the gap on the points, so yeah, Trelleborg is leading, and the lead is actually real because they have about the same amount of bales currently available as well. Of course, New Holland, they will start delivering something as well. The multipliers are back on 2.0, and of course, they do have a very fast belt, but they do have about 50 points, which they need to catch up one way or another. And that is what New Holland needs to do if they want to stay in the tournament.
But it does show that New Holland are also catching up on the bales. Because if there's an even number of bales now, at one point, Trelleborg were 9 bales ahead.
Yeah, they have been catching up. They have been producing and pressing the bales. And of course, now I think the bale counts are pretty much even. Actually, the points are pretty much even as well as New Holland makes the delivery. So they're just like 4 points shy from Trelleborg Tires. And we have 3 minutes to go. We do have some bales coming in from the Trelleborg side. Okay, they have 15 bales, so they're leading by 4 bales or something like that. But let's see if New Holland's going to be, let's say, good enough to somehow. We have a super job coming in. It's going to be picked by New Holland, by the way, as well, immediately. So there's going to be 2 different drops currently active.
I'm not sure what that's... Oh, it's bottom boost.
Yeah, bottom boost. That's going to help them hugely, actually. Yeah. So there's going to be now a lot of bales coming, and that's going to be 3 of them.
Even more important.
There we go, and there's going to be 3 more still on the baler.
Even more importantly, that's kept bottom boost out of the hands of Trelleborg, who could really have done with it.
Yeah, because I think that New Holland is anyways like a more efficient around the belt than Trelleborg Tires.
They have a faster belt.
Yeah, look at the amount of bales actually which Trelleborg have here. We can see on the X-ray there was like 6 or 7 bales that they could have shoved in. But now they just have to put them on the belt. So this is definitely very good for New Holland. And this is going to make the whole situation maybe slightly more even. The bale difference is going to be still 6 bales. And the point gap is just about 1 bale as we speak. So there's a lot of things that New Holland still needs to make to happen. But let's say small mistake from the Trelleborg side is going to change everything. But still on the bale counts, Trelleborg is having a very, very comfortable situation.
Fatu taking quite a while, actually, though, to get those bales in the bottom. That has delayed him a little bit. It's still faster than it would have been if it was put on the belt. But the downside is that while he was in there doing that, he wasn't out pressing bales, so that will have cost them some time in the bale pressing.
Yeah, it is looking a bit scary how many bales actually Trelleborg has around the belt, and they're still leading on the points as well, and we're almost starting the last minute, so this is looking actually very good for Trelleborg. Of course, New Holland, they do have a chance for the surprise here as well, but Trelleborg is actually looking very, very strong, and I mean, if they're going to win this one, it's going to be their first grand final ever with this current lineup, so that's going to be very great if that's going to happen, but let's just wait for the final moments to come. We still have 1 minute to go, and now New Holland has taken the lead by 6 points. There's going to be an awfully lot of bales on the belt. That's going to be 5 bales coming in. That is 100 points on the belt, and Loiko, he's not sleeping at all. It's going to be putting just more bales on the belt because New Holland not having any of them on the belt. So Trelleborg is definitely going to be creating a gap here, which New Holland somehow needs to catch up. There's going to be probably like 1 delivery of bales still coming from New Holland. No, actually all the bales they have, they're actually around the belt. They don't have any more bales. And look at the bale count on the Trelleborg side. This is going to be very difficult for New Holland to catch up, because if any of those bales from the Trelleborg side is going to go in, New Holland, I don't think that they have the bales. 25 seconds to go. There's going to be a couple of them on the belt. They're going to reach 600 something points. New Holland just 2 bales. They don't have the bales. They don't have the bales. It's done.
Looks like New Holland are going out.
Will be going to the grand final for sure. We still have 10 seconds to go, but there's just no chance at all that New Holland can do it anymore.
The bales that have come in for Trelleborg in the last few seconds has been immense. And it's going to be 100 points that they take it by. And there we go.
Yeah, 100
Well
points.
played by Trelleborg.
And we saw that there was a gap of about six bales, which is
Yeah.
about 100 points. So
Which
in
is
the end,
which is the early pressing they did. Those
Yeah.
6 bales that
Yeah.
they pressed before New Holland even started
Yeah.
are what won them that game. Fantastic play from Trelleborg.
Excellent. So New Holland, they will end up third on the tournament. They will not go to the grand final. And in the grand final, we're going to be seeing Helm versus Trelleborg
Trelleborg.
Tires. And we saw them playing a couple of matches earlier on the upper bracket, the first match of today. And it was very close. And now with Trelleborg, with all this momentum which they will gain from this game, I mean, they definitely have, they're having a good role currently.
Let's not forget, Trelleborg started today by beating Helm in the first game of the day. So they know that they can beat them. Yes, there was a bit of an unforced error that helped them along that way, but they know they can be beaten. They know they can go in this final, and they know they can win. It is going to be a cracking final.
Yeah.
Trelleborg playing the best that we've seen them all season. Looking forward to see what they can pull out in the final, and looking forward to see what Helm can do as well.
And just as a reminder, the final is going to be best of 5. And of course, Helm starting with the 0-1 scoreline. So of course, you have to win 3 matches from the best of 5. So they have an advantage, not losing any games so far. So that is the advantage which the team gets from being on the upper bracket of the tournament all the time. So definitely a very interesting final coming up. We can see on the camera feed as New Holland and Trelleborg are just talking about the game there in general. But soon we're going to be seeing, of course, Helm as well coming in. And then also, Trelleborg's going to be going to the final. We're going to be hitting a break before that.
Yep, and we will be back in 3 minutes for the final of round 5 of the 5th season of the FSL. Live here from LAMMA. So we will see you then, and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
And welcome back. Finally, after all the matches so far, it is time for the grand final of the Season 5, Tournament 5. Of course, we're going to be having a look on the replays from the previous game as well. But now we do know it's going to be Helm, who's going to be, of course, defending kind of the position on the grand final, coming from the upper bracket. And finally, we also know that Trelleborg Tires have made it to the grand final as the second team. And it's going to be best of 5. And will be an interesting series. Of course, also New Holland, who just lost the semi-final, ended up on the 3rd place. We're going to be seeing the replays from the previous game. They did everything they could, but on the final game, they just didn't find the bails anymore to deliver the points.
Yeah, they played an absolutely cracking game, the first game here. As I said at the time, some of the best gameplay that I've seen, just like absolute clockwork. And then, unfortunately, it didn't quite work for them the second and third game, with Trelleborg coming back and fighting really, really well. And we see this in the first game where they picked up the bridges raised just in time to block Hayden from coming out and slowing Trelleborg down in that first game.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, we see all these situations building up here, and yeah, as we can see, some small mistakes here and there, nothing that major. I mean, we haven't seen like a huge. This was a very nice climb from Loikov, getting those 69 points, and that also made a lot of a difference on that match. But yeah, that game is done, and now we can focus completely on the grand final, and yeah, Helm versus Trelleborg Tires.
Trelleborg, of course, starting off today by winning the first game against Trelleborg. Against Helm. Yeah, in this best of 5 final, of course, Trelleborg. I'm going to get this the right way around in a minute. Helm come into this with 1 game up. That's their advantage for having made it all the way through the top bracket without losing a match. So immediately Trelleborg have that 1 game disadvantage. They need to win 3 games of the next match, and Helm need to win just 2.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that is the advantage which Helm is getting. I mean, Trelleborg was able to get some rounds away from Helm earlier today.
Yeah.
And they have been playing well. I mean, I think we have said that now 5 times at least. But I don't think that we can underline that enough, that the Trelleborg has been playing really well. I mean, of course, Helm, they haven't lost a single game. We spoke about how Helm yesterday, they won the games, but it wasn't like a complete, absolute finesse from them. They had some small things here and there. So I think that Trelleborg actually has a chance here. And of course, I mean, getting the victory from New Holland, kind of like, the motion which they get from that, the momentum, it's now there.
So we are going to go into the first game of this final in a few seconds. I honestly don't know who will win this.
Yeah, we don't know that.
It's even with the fact that Helm beat Trelleborg earlier. Trelleborg took them to 3 games. All 3 of those games were close. And so yeah, I think that we could have an upset here, or we could have Helm just playing really, really well as they usually do and taking this final. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen, honestly. So it can be just 3-0 for Helm, or it can be something else. So who knows? And we just have to wait and see. And that's why we are playing the games. I mean, if we would have the some kind of a fortunate telling ball here, that would tell us, maybe even 8 ball to tell us the results. We will tell them, but that's why we're here, to see the games. And but it's going to be an interesting one, definitely. Helm now, as we can see, they're banning John Deere. They haven't gone for the telehandlers. And Trelleborg, they want to play them as well. So we might just see the final where we actually have the telehandlers in use all the time.
I would quite like to see that. I think it'd be a very interesting final to have the telehandlers available to both teams. Both teams really like using them. Both teams play them well. And it would be absolutely spectacular to have the telehandlers in these finals.
Yep, True, and at least on the first game we're going to have it, so nobody's going to be banning the telehandlers, and we saw it on the previously on the first game of the day how they like to use them in all the 3 matches, so it might happen here as well. So Big Hole versus Bottleneck seems to be, at least for now. Let's see if there's going to be any late second change, and it's going to be Bottleneck versus Bottleneck. Yeah, they like to do this. I remember one time when they didn't manage to press it in time, and they left with a completely wrong perk.
The interesting thing of this means that Bottleneck versus Unstoppable can't happen later on in this match. And it being the best of 5, we're going to have at least 2 games here. We could have 3 or even 4, and as a result, the team perks as we go through are going to get less and less choices. If it goes to the full 4 games, Herbicide is definitely coming out.
Yeah, well, at least what we have here is that we do have the telehandlers in play. So both teams will decide to play with them as they played earlier today as well. So that's going to be the same, and everything has been set up. Everything has been picked, and now it's going to be time to prove yourselves on the server here at LAMMA 2024 in Birmingham, UK. Yeah, let's see. The gates are going to be opening up, and of course we'll see if there's going to be a kind of a battle happening at the pads. JK seems to be pretty fine. Oh, we do have a battle between JK and Hayden actually, and JK is going to go, and he's going to get that one.
No,
he's going to miss that one. He's going to miss that one, and Hayden's going to be stealing that from the pad, and JK needs to settle down with something else. He's going to find another bailer. We can see Martin taking the class Lexia, and JK is going to be finding this class bailer instead. But that's going to cost some time for sure, as JK has been the one who's going to be kind of like delivering the first bail. So this is going to be about 10 seconds time lost, but of course it's not that black and white. The position of everything and the travel time and everything of course makes a difference as well. But as we can see from the X-rays, that Martin is actually ahead. So if JK would have won that battle, he would be right there in front of the Trelleborg combine. But now Hayden has the advantage, and he's going to be trying to have his try. So unless he's going to miss that one, or maybe he wants to have like a safer way of delivering it, but pretty even, as we can see. It's going to be pretty even, and JK has more horsepower on the tractor.
And it is neck and neck going into this first bail. It is going to be down to who can actually make the flick and get it into the barn. Both of them coming up. JK getting into position. It's a 126, and Hayden has missed.
Yeah, that's going to be costly, so the advantage kind of like has been lost, and that's going to be a problematic. It's going to go under the tractor as well. Doesn't manage to shove that in right away. Going to have a second try. It's going to go 114, so it's going to be a difference of 12 points.
Or 0.6 of a bail.
Yes, exactly. I was going to come to that, but Alex, you're getting the hang of it. Yeah, that is good.
Direct delivery collected by Helm. Trelleborg nowhere near picking them up. Actually, Hayden is coming up to it now and has also picked up direct delivery. So both teams running that now.
Yeah, direct delivery in use. But the start, I mean, yeah, nobody got the the greatest first bail in the world. And yeah, small mistake for Hayden, but just 12 points. So it's not like the end of the world, at least not yet. We'll see if they're going to win it.
If it's lost by 12 points.
Yeah, then it's not the end of the world, but it's the end of the game, at least at that point. But yeah, we still have plenty of time to see how this is going to evolve from here. The direct deliveries are done, 2.0s for both of them. Trelleborg actually managing to get slightly more grain, inside of the silo at that point with that direct delivery, but nothing that huge. A very, very small difference there. And now we just, as we can see from this nice split view, that they are just executing pretty much the same strategies, more or less, and collecting the grain, and we'll be starting to move those trailers towards the silo at some point. We'll see if they want to go for the early deliveries, for example.
I think Helm are probably going to try and get both of those class combines over to the sell point. That would work really well for them. We know from past experience that those class combines just hold so much grain and are so much of an advantage to get both of them, especially if you can get them over there. Hayden now coming in a little bit behind and has that auger out. And again, it's one of those things where just a little bit the wrong way coming in there and you clip it and you end up stuck in a tree.
Yeah, well, as said, maybe in real life the silo would be in a slightly easier location, but of course we don't want this to be too easy for the
No.
players. We want to be there are slight challenges. You have to go with the combines, for example, like from a very narrow angles and so on. No deliveries. I mean, regarding the bales have been happening. 40 seconds till the first round of the drops. And everything is pretty much even. No bales being pressed by Trelleborg and on the Helm side either. So it's like completely the same. Amount of grain is pretty much the same as well. So we'll see how this is going to go and what's going to happen with the drops. Now we can see the one bale being pressed by Helm. So there's something coming out of those balers now from on the Helm side, and just 10 seconds about, and then we'll see what's going to be coming out.
You can see the delay that that Hayden had at the start, missing that first bale and having to go back and reposition it in there has sort of filtered down the whole way. JK is in there and he's pressing bales well before Hayden is able to get to the baler and get pressing his bales. So it really does filter down. If you have a bad start, it can filter down the whole way through the game and cost you a bale or two or more later on. Just seeing if Hayden's going to grab speed up or bale drop, I would expect.
Ooh,
we're going for, well, it's a 2 bale drop, so that's 40 points worth of bales that are parachuted in. I doubt he could press 2 extra bales if he took speed up.
And now we have the unloading happening at the same time as well. So both teams are unloading the grain. We'll see where the multipliers are going to be ending up at that point. But they had a pretty even amount of grain on the both sides. So I'm expecting that Trelleborg might be having a slightly more delivered because they managed to do a better use of the direct delivery earlier, but nothing that huge. Okay, 2.1 for the moment, but they haven't done all the deliveries. 24K still remaining for Trelleborg. And actually Trelleborg having 2.1. And Helm, let's see how much grain they still have remaining. But that's got to be hidden from us for the time being, so we're going to figure that out later. But for the time being, the multipliers are quite even.
And yes, it's 35,000 litres of grain for Helm, so a good 10,000 litre advantage. That could swing the multiplier the other way, to be honest.
It should definitely do that, to have it like a 2.1 or something on the side of a Helm. So we'll see when the final deliveries have been done. We can see that Helm is now delivering it. We can see also bales being delivered. 12 bales, by the way, pressed by Helm, and 8 bales by Trelleborg currently. We can see a toss coming up from the Helm side, and one of them is not going to go inside, but some of them are. So we do have 168 points now coming for Helm. So they tried to toss 3 bales, and only 2 of them went inside. They can still, of course, work with that 1 bale. It's not going to be lost or anything like that. JK is going to follow up, and there's going to be bales coming on the belt. One is going to drop on the side of it, and the multiplier is going to be ending up with 2 zeros on the both sides, and it's just so close on the Helm side actually to get that 2.1.
They've got to be, 10 litres?
Yeah, it's so close.
To send it to a 2.1.
It's so close. I mean, just like barely. I mean, like 10 liters or something like that. So you're completely right on that one. So they will end up with 2.0 multipliers. It's going to be otherwise 2 points per bale, but I don't think they can find any extra grain at this point because, I mean, they don't have the time to go to the silo anymore. So it's going to be done deal. 2.0s on the both sides, and that's going to be fine. So it's going to be an even battle. Lord bale is going to be picked up by Martin, so that's going to be 2 bales coming for them as well. That's going to be a great cover the whole situation with the grain.
Yeah, 2 bales immediately scored, picking up that Lord Baler, putting them up into the lead, and now both teams getting in there and loading bales as quickly as they can. This 3-minute mark is when both teams need to press as many bales as they can, get them back and get them scored. And this is where Helm tends to shine. They tend to be able to press more bales than other teams because they're just so efficient at doing it. And they end up with more points simply because they're able to push to get those extra bales created.
Yeah, well now definitely, I mean, operations around the belt, they should be pretty busy. Martin's going to be stacking up the bales on the belt, as we can see, all 3 of them. Now one is going to drop down, and there's going to be more bales coming up. I like what I see here on the Helm side. They have so many bales around the belt, and that's going to be easy for Martin to operate now, as they are kind of like in the right distance from the handler at the front of the vehicle. And meanwhile, Trelleborg has been claiming the lead. But how I see the amount, Helm, they have now taken it back because they have the bales, and so they're just currently in the delivery mode.
It's going back and forth at the moment, and interestingly, with the points so close, the number of bales is really close as well. There's like 2 bales in it at the moment, and if and Helm needs to be scoring these. Loiko is coming in with another Trelleborg toss.
Yeah, he has been practicing.
2 bales scored off that.
Yeah. I mean, lately we have seen a lot of these tosses when they try to toss all 3 of them, and then they just get 2 of them inside. So I guess it's fine. You know, if something doesn't stick, then they will still try it. And it's still 40 points coming out of it, and it's not that far away. I mean, it's going to be close to the first floor barn doors. The final minute has, by the way, started, and Helm is leading with more than 70 points for the time being. And looking at how the bales are just arriving right next to the belt, this is looking really good for them because they are organized. Of course, one small mistake can change everything, but all of those 3 bales which they currently have on the belt, they will go definitely inside the Trelleborg. We can see that there are a couple bales on the belt going to be stacked. That's going to be 40 points for them, so they're going to be catching up a little bit, but nothing huge. I think Helm is definitely currently sitting on the leading place, even though they have a couple less bales, but the gap is still 70 points.
Yeah, and Helm are just pulling away at this point. You can see they've created extra bales. They're getting them on there. They're using the telehandler to their advantage. They're trying to get down there. It's not going to make any difference. They have over 150
bales.
Points. And Trelleborg have 8 underdelivered bales.
That's a huge amount of bales for Trelleborg, which are not going to be finding their way into the barn. And that is just a lot of questions. The gap is going to be about 150 points in the end. That's a huge amount of points. And the 8 bales, undelivered bales. I'm sorry, I just got to say it. It's unacceptable.
Well, that's 160 points left on the field at the end of that. Only 18 bales delivered. Yeah, that's cost them the match.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's cost them the game.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking very good for them at one point, but of course then Helm we know how efficient they are at the end game. The last 2-3 minutes, they are just like a swarm of ants around the nest, and they are just like doing everything they can. They're carrying themselves, they're carrying the bales, they're carrying the equipment, and they are just getting everything done. And but the 8 bales, I mean, it is pretty
that is
harsh.
one of the biggest numbers of bales we've seen left. I don't know whether anything happened to block their way to get them in or something like that, but yeah, 8 bales, that's a huge number left on the field.
I mean, probably somebody has them on their pockets, like, okay, who nicked the bales? Where are they? Oh, I have them here.
However, that means that Trelleborg's backs are against the wall now. They have to win this next game in order to stay in this final. If they don't, this is going to be Helm's tournament. They will take round 5 of the FSL.
Well, first game of the final is done, and of course now Helm is leading 2-0. They're just 1 victory away from winning the grand final, actually, because best of 5, and they have that 1 game auto win from the upper bracket. And we're going to be starting the next game, the 3rd game, in a matter of seconds. And of course we're going to be entering the ban phase, as we can see. I'm not really expecting much of a surprises here. I think that they will keep the telehandler still in play, unless, of course, Trelleborg realizes that they want to do some kind of a change for it. But I don't think that Helm wants to change the situation.
Yeah. So we're back into the pick and ban phase. We are going to see if the telehandlers get banned again, or if the telehandlers get banned this time. We know both teams like to use them, so they haven't tended to be banned by these 2 teams.
Yeah, I don't think, unless somebody wants to disrupt it somehow, you know, change it that, okay, this is nice, but this is not still working, maybe we want to do something about it, but nope, that doesn't seem to be the case. So yeah, we can see big tractors, small tractors being banned, but the telehandlers, at least one of them is going to be in use for sure, and most probably both of them, because it doesn't make sense to have the other one banned and not the other one, unless you're baiting or doing something very sneaky stuff, you know, something what DJ, for example, would be doing usually. And there we can see one of them is going to be banned by Trelleborg, but they will still leave the New Holland one into play.
And that's interesting because the Manitou is the one that was being used by Helm, whereas Trelleborg was using the New Holland. So both teams going for Unstoppable. This is the one situation where Unstoppable basically just cancels itself out. Both teams end up with a slightly faster running belt as a result, and neither team's belt can be stopped.
Yeah, Unstoppables on the both sides, and then New Holland's telehandlers on the both sides. That is interesting. I wanna see this game, and luckily I will see this game. So it's not that I need to wish. It's not like oh there's a paywall. I gotta pay like 20 euros or something like that. I want to see this,
Yes.
and we all will see this. And I hope that you all want to see it as well. I guess that's why you're watching. But yeah, interesting. But yeah, just a reminder, Helm 1 victory away from winning the grand final, and Trelleborg, they are still 3 victories away from winning the final. So, I mean, this is the do or die moment for Trelleborg. They got to show if they have what it takes to disrupt Helm and kind of like, beat them on their own game.
So we're lining up here, just having a quick look at what's on the pods. The Massey Ferguson Baylor that most teams like is up there front and centre. The New Holland Combine and the John Deere Combine are out on the left, so both good choices. I don't think I saw the Class Combine available this time, so both teams will be going for something. And no, there it is. And Helm lose it.
I kind of like it when I saw that the telehandler's fork is all the way up there. It's kind of a bit scary, to be honest. Anyways, so yeah, it's going to be Trelleborg who's going to win that one battle at the pass. We can see Martin finding the New Holland Combine. Once again, JK is actually not that far away, so this is actually looking pretty good. They're not like so close to the field as Trelleborg. I mean, at least we can see that the Loiko is pretty close, but Heiden's going to be slightly more further away. And JK, yeah, let's see. I mean, he has the bail done, and that's not what Trelleborg has it, so he can actually overtake while they are doing the bailing, and JK should have a slight advantage here. Of course, 140 is going to be a quite fast stretch, so I'm expecting like mid 130s or high 130s, depending on it's going to be high 130s, yeah. So 130, F8 or 7 is possible, I would say, and it's going to be 138. It's going to be for Helm, and Trelleborg, once again, we can see Heiden reversing that in, so another 5 points of a difference.
Yeah, that's a nice close first bail point. That puts both teams actually in a really good position. Nobody particularly under pressure from that first bail.
Under pressure. Greetings, Jenny. Anyway.
Bridges raised and bridges lowered. Unless they're going past, I don't think either team is going to particularly go for that. Because both are concentrating on getting that overloader freed and emptying their combine, so their combine does not stop in the field. And yeah, we've got. Which team is that has their overload in the wrong place? JK was slightly in the wrong place there and unable to empty Wooler's combine straight off. And Martin is full, so yeah, there's been a little bit of delay there for Helm, and it's caused one of their combines to stop. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem there for them. Might cost them possibly a bail, certainly cost them a little bit of grain, but they seem to be recovered, and everything seems to be a little bit even as they go into this point.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. But yeah, okay, let's see how this plays out. I mean, yeah, we have the usual, okay, Jacob's going to be taking the trailer next to the silo. I mean, we have no big holes or anything like that, so both teams will just bring the grain next to the silo with the trailers, as we can see pretty much at the same time as well. The 5-point difference also indicates the difference in time pretty well, so it's just like, some seconds, and we can see that Heiden is not that far away. You can see that like 5 meters behind, so maybe it's a correlation of 1 meter per second, or something like that. But yeah, and we can see Trelleborg players, they're pretty happy as well. I mean, they're not really like having like a panic mode. I can maybe see a small smirk there in the face as well.
They seem fairly calm.
Yeah, we made it to the final. This is fine. And I'm not talking about the meme. This is fine.
This is fine.
Nothing is burning around them. At least nothing what I can see here.
No, please no. And yeah, Heiden again. It's just a moment behind. It's not massive. And in fact, JK isn't bailing on his way back, whereas Heiden is. So that means that the bails that JK is creating have less distance to be taken to get them back to the barn than the ones Heiden's creating. And that might be part of the reason why Helm are able to press more bales and get more bales back at the end because they're not taking the bales so far. They're not pressing them so far away from that final spot. They're able to go out there and get more pressed because they're travelling shorter distances, and that all adds up in those final moments.
Okay, drops are coming in as we speak, so we should be having them as right now. And let's see if there's going to be anything disruptive. There's going to be a slightly more grain on the trailer box side, if I saw correctly, 68 versus 64. Okay, veil drop and the speed limit. So yeah, the grain multipliers and the silo closes, they have been pretty much hiding today.
Yes.
And I don't really mind about that. We saw plenty of those yesterday, and this is going to be a different kind of a gameplay. So yeah, we have speed limit, veil drop. We'll see, maybe speed limit is the one if somebody's going to go for it. But yeah, nothing that much. And meanwhile, we can see Martin trying to get that new Holland, and it's stuck with the class axiom, but he's going to be getting away from it. So he's going to be saving it because he's going to need it for sure.
Yeah.
At the later game, he wants to be stacking those bales and of course use the telehandler for it. And let's see if he's going to go for either of the drops as well.
I expect him to get the bale drop.
Yeah,
Or
the speed limit.
Oh, no.
Yep.
No, he is going for the speed limit.
Yeah.
So he is slowing. Oh, that's because Trelleborg have also gone for the speed limit.
Yeah, they want to follow it. And yeah, 4.5 minutes to go. And let's figure this out. A lot of bales actually, I mean, okay, not a lot of them, but some of them are right next to the Trelleborg belt, so they have been delivering something. We can see Helm actually having 14 bales, so they're leading by 5 bales on the bale pressing currently.
So efficient at getting those bales, and especially considering that JK started baling after Hayden did. To have those extra 5 bales, that is incredible in such a short period of time.
Okay.
Grain delivery has started, and we're seeing the multipliers fluctuate, and Trelleborg are slightly ahead.
Yeah, they win this one. I mean the multiplier game currently, at least, if nothing else. So they will get 2.1. It was very close on the last game to Helm to have it, because Loiko going for the toss. So the Trelleborg toss is going to happen, and maybe none of them will go inside. All of them will just go all across the barn door, and you know, it's almost like, you know, you have a bottle of champagne, you try to open, you wait for a big bang come out of that, but then in the end it's a fluke, like nothing happens at all. Oh, it's expired. You know, no, nothing.
Martin's lining up for a Helm hurl now, and he's leading up to it. How many of these bales are going in? It is all 3 of them go in for his hurl.
Yeah, it was a close one. I mean, the toss, I mean, this with the 3 bales, there was a very high chance that at least one of them wouldn't have gone in. But luckily, all of them went in, and they will claim those about 60 points, actually 57 points from that one, because the Highland going for the bale points, going to be collecting 31 points instantly, which is, of course, really nice thing to catch up. So, but the gap is already like a 65 points currently, and even though there's a slight difference in the multiplier, but when looking at it, I mean, I think there's a slight difference in the bales. I think there's like 3 bales less for Trelleborg, and that's about the size of the gap when you take the bale multiplier into account as well.
Bales at this point, and there's 70 points.
I should learn not to say the amount of bales which Helm has, because they're just all the time getting more and more of them. They're almost like spawning instantly.
Yeah, they create them as quickly as
another toss.
And Martin misses it.
Yeah,
this
but
time.
1 actually I think went in. So one out of 3. So that is still better than 0. Yeah, completely right on that one. So, but yeah, and that's not actually looking good. The stacking, that 1 bale is most probably going to drop. And so yeah, Helm is having some issues as well, but nothing huge. We still have plenty of time. The bales which are going to drop from the belt, they still have the time. And what I don't like here on the Trelleborg side, to be honest, once again, it's very unorganized.
Yes.
They're all over the place. It's like my son's room at home, to be honest. Like all the stuff out there where they shouldn't be, and then it's like very hard to navigate or anything like that.
It looks to me like a lot of we've had a couple of throws, of dunks that have failed.
Yeah.
And as a result, this is why we have very messy barns at the moment.
Yeah.
the bales are kind of all over the place, and they're having to clear them up, and it's taking time.
Yeah, it's like the clothes around the laundry basket, more or less, because people try to throw the shirts and everything there. But meanwhile, of course, we still have almost the last minute starting up the gap currently. So Helm is leading by 55. Okay, I correct slightly more as they will get some more points, but they're still leading at least by 50 points. And now it's all about, about the efficiency. You don't do more bales anymore at this point. You have to focus on getting all of these bales inside. And remember, if Helm is going to claim this one, they will win the tournament as well. So we see 2 bales going in. Amat is going to be stacking them up. We can see Loiko doing the same work currently also with the telehandler, and we can see Loiko coming. Is there actually 2 bales on top of each other? We can see 19 points coming for Helm. One is going to drop down. There's a lot of bales which they can actually try to shove in somehow. 30 seconds to go. Helm is still leading with 60 points, and there is about the same amount of bales going inside. So even though there's small mistakes coming from Helm, it's not that Trelleborg is actually catching up hugely, and the point difference, 2 points bale, it's not going to be enough.
What a way to load a bale onto that belt.
Yeah, 15 seconds to go, and the gap is only 20 points. We can see Loiko trying to go for some kind of a toss. We can see Wooler trying to reverse that. They want to shove those for the first floor. There's going to be a lot of points coming in. It's not going to be combo. It's going to be still 17 points of a difference. The seconds are running out. That's going to be almost over, and in the end it will be Helm. They will claim the victory from the 5th tournament of the 5th season of the Farming Simulator League. They will be victorious here in Birmingham, in LAMMA.
Fantastic win there from Helm, dominating most of today. Only team taking them to a game being Trelleborg, but at the end of it, their dominance continues, and Helm take the 5th round.
Well, okay, in a way it's dominance, but I mean they lost one tournament, so it's not completely dominant, so they will kind of reclaim the position. But of course, well done. They will win the best of 5 final with the 3-0 scoreline. And even with the substitute player this time, so very, very well done, I would say. So, yeah, and I mean, we had all the excitement. It was a close, I mean, the last game especially, it was a close one still. So it's not that, that Helm just walked here and didn't do anything. Trelleborg really gave a very, very good opposition to all of that. But Helm, they just did well, they didn't panic, and they executed what they came here to do.
And it's been a fantastic tournament here at LAMMA. I said it yesterday, I'll say it again today. Huge thank you to LAMMA for inviting Giants and the FSL here. It has been a wonderful 2 days playing the FSL on my home turf, which is absolutely awesome. Great win again for Helm, back on top, and absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, what this of course means for the okay, and we should be having the prize being handled as well. So Helm is going to be, of course, waiting for it. But yeah, Helm definitely going to keep the lead on the circuit points. But also at the same time, Trelleborg Tires with that 2nd place is going to be rising up quite heavily on the points as well.
We are definitely going to see a change.
We shall see. DJ Goham is going to be coming here to present together with Farmer Cop. So there will be something given out.
And the medals to Helm.
Yeah. Yeah, medals and everything coming up. So that is the. It's almost like being in the Olympics, to be honest. I mean, can you kneel, please, and then just put it up there? And of course, DJ Goham with the check. We do have a prize pool of 15,000 euros here. And of course, the winning team is going to be claiming a major share of it. Of course, the rest of the money is going to be distributed for the other teams also participating and claiming some results as well. So very well done. And this is Helm. These are your champions from LAMMA.
And yeah, it's been an absolutely fantastic 2 days here. We have enjoyed ourselves immensely. Bringing you the FSL live from LAMMA here. Again, I can't say it enough. Huge thank you to LAMMA for inviting us to come and do the FSL here. We've had a huge amount of fun. It's been wonderful to bring the FSL to a UK audience live, and yeah, I certainly would love to do it again because it is fantastic. Replays of the finals here and the moment that just missed out on that bail, on that bailer. I loved seeing the telehandlers in this final. Having those and seeing the style from them was absolutely fantastic.
And because of that, I was kind of hoping that the final would be longer to see more games with the telehandlers. And we do have the updated points coming up as well, so we can figure out what is the situation, because we know that even though Trelleborg Tires didn't win the final, but they will make a huge leap on the scoreboard for sure, because they managed to get the second place, and that's going to be making them to pass a lot of teams. And of course, New Holland should be claiming the second place, so we can expect to see a lot of changes there. With Oiko's pass, where none of the bails actually went in, we can see that as a replay as well, and it's not easy.
And then coming in afterwards, Helm showing how it's done. So we're going to have a look at the standings in a moment. The big change around here is actually everywhere under Helm. We've got a lot of teams moving about. We've had some just big disruption to the positions that teams have come into. New Holland not quite made it up to the top. They are in equal second place though, with Lindner overall. Vultra dropping down below them. Trelleborg Tires though moving up to 8th. They were sitting at the bottom of the table, and they're now sitting up there with Farming Friends in 8th place. So that has been a great weekend for them. Absolutely fantastic 2 days here from LAMMA. Huge thank you once again to LAMMA for inviting us. We have had an absolute ball of a time here bringing this to you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, huge thanks to LAMMA once again for inviting us. And of course, it was our pleasure to be here. So thank you, everybody. And we'll see in the next broadcast on the next tournament.
See you soon, everybody. Bye for now.